Hey guys, Darth Gloric here, back with part 5 of my If My Heart Had Wings playthrough. So last time, we got a title card, and things got super real, and our plot started to develop. We did manage to save the Soaring Club, and Kotori, was that her name? She came around and did decide to join after all, and there was some real feels floating around, because our main dude actually told her his story and what happened to him. And so we got his backstory. So altogether, lots of good stuff. So we got a sweet title card. We got a sweet title card last time. So the point is, now we are back. So it's been a couple days. My plans got suddenly rearranged over the weekend, and so I did not end up recording anything. But today is Monday. I am still on my weekend, and we're back. So that's the point. Anyway, so we'll just go ahead and hop right into this one. And we can jump back to it. But as usual, I do have a water and a juice nearby. And my juice is once again a kiwi strawberry. However, if you were interested in the fact, here we go. Let's see. The new bottle, the caps are blue, and they're not as easy to see the writing anymore. So it takes a second. Plus, my lights are off, so that doesn't help. Anyway, whatever. Real fact, number 1510, I think. There are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Now you know. So hey, that's kind of cool. Anyway, there's no need to rush. I had just finished at the cash register at the convenience store, and then I went after Kotori, who had left first and had a convenience store bag on her lap. Then I hold onto the grip of the wheelchair. Let's go, Kotori, hold on tight. Alright, here we go. Following Kotori's command, I push the wheelchair forward at breakneck speed. He's all breathing hard. Hey, you okay? I'm okay. I'm completely fine. I push out my chest to try and show that I'm okay, but I can't hide the fact that I'm out of breath. My stamina's gotten worse. I've been pushing the wheelchair while running up until now, but I was reminded of how much my stamina had decreased. She couldn't help but notice, so Kotori took a sports drink out of the convenience store bag.
Hi, Aoi-kun.
Here you go, Aoi. Thanks. You see how chill she can just call him Aoi-kun now? Like, it's so easy. Like, that was one of the plot points of last episode. Anyway, you're getting a bit carried away. Is your knee okay? My knee? Yeah, no problem, I think. According to the doctor, I shouldn't have any difficulty with everyday life. Yeah, but does that include hard running? The problem is whether or not this is above the normal level of everyday activity or not. I would say yes. I told you halfway that you could stop, but in the end you ran all the way to school. Yeah, if I was him, I would look up. Like, one of the things I would have asked the doctor, like, am I allowed to run on this? Like, or am I not allowed to run? You know what I mean? Like, that'd be something I would have asked. Because, like, everyday life is kind of a broad statement. Like, you know, does that mean I mean, obviously that means I can walk and stuff. Like, is there a length of how long I shouldn't walk? Like, am I allowed to run? Like, you know what I mean? Because if I was Aoi, I would come up with a new hobby. Like, obviously, if you can't ride your bike anymore, I would have asked why. Like, okay, so what other hobby that's maybe something similar could I do that would be a little more friendly to my knee, you know? I would have, you know, figured out how I could adapt, you know what I mean? Since this morning, I had been in high spirits, and the effect hadn't worn off yet for some reason. It's because of our club activities we're finally about to start. Today is Saturday, and a day off, but we intentionally got up early and came to school. You went through all the effort to get better, so take care of yourself, okay? You're right. As I speak, I move the bottle up to my mouth. I've been sweating a lot, so my body quickly absorbs the water. What's that about your knee? He's like, obviously startles him. From out of nowhere, Agaha appeared right next to me. It's nothing, no big deal.
Aww.
She's like, oh, really? Morning, Kotori. Morning, Agaha. I noticed that they don't actually, I mean, I know the subtitle says Agaha, but they both give them, that's the super polite greeting, you know what I mean? They're using each other's last names, you know? It's like a very polite way. They're not as tight as like Aoi and Kotori right now. Just noticing. Kotori seems a little embarrassed as Agaha speaks to her. You got here first?
違うよ。さっき葵たちが猛スピードで追い抜いてったんじゃん。
Nope, I saw you guys racing along at top speed and I followed you. Is that so? I didn't realize.
車椅子をして走る人なんて初めて見たよ。
That's the first time I've seen someone running and pushing a wheelchair.
葵くん、私先に行くね。
Oh, yeah, I'll go on ahead, okay? Kotori was being careful around Ageha and spoke like she was uncomfortable as she went on ahead. Rather than being annoyed, she seemed more embarrassed than anything. I think Ageha understands that too, but...
葵くん？
Ah, she noticed that, did she? What?
別に。それじゃ私も先に行こうっと。
Oh, nothing. He's like, what? Oh, nothing. Well then, I'm going on ahead now too. Yeah, she's like, can't help but notice she's using your first name now. What's up with that?
じゃあね、葵くん。
See, Aoi. Agaha's annoyed, I think. Seeming like she's had enough of talking to me, Agaha also went on ahead. Hey, wait, Agaha. I chase after the two of them and we head to the garage. What's up? Amane was already inside the garage. She's in the zone, bro. She's not gonna hear us. Amane was making a serious face in front of the drawing board. She's really concentrating and hasn't noticed us. For a moment, I wasn't sure if I should call out to her, but if we don't say anything, how many hours would she be doing that for? Hi there, Amane.
君たち。
It's you guys. Sorry, drinking. What's up, Amane?
チース。
What's up?
チース。
What's up? Like, much less confidently. Agaha and Kotori copy the greeting that I use. From today, we'll do our best.
ああ、
She's like, I didn't expect you to show up. Amane points at me and makes a troubled face.
君はなんて言うんだったかな。
What do you mean, you there? What's your name? You there? What's your name? That's right. I never once told her my name. Oh, I guess that's true. She never actually caught my name, even though we've met several times. Aoi Manase, second grade, class A. I gave a very sharp self-introduction, and the others do likewise.
同じく2年 A 組姫木あげはです。
Also from the second grade, class A, Agaha Himegi.
同じく2年 A 組幅根小鳥。
Also, oh sorry, not done yet. Also from the second grade, class A, Kotori Habane.
葵あげは小鳥。葵あげは小鳥。
Saying all their names. She confirms our faces and names in order.
私は5年 C 組いや D 組だったかな。望月あまねだ。
Wow, she is a lot older than us, because, like, we're all second grade, she's fifth grade, and she's repeated several years in a row, an unknown amount of years in a row. I am from the fifth grade, class C, or was it D? Amane Mochizuki. She misses so many lessons, and she doesn't even know what class she's in, it seems.
昨日はありがとう。君たちのおかげでまだここにいられる。
Thanks for yesterday, because of you guys, I can continue to stay here. We are somehow very grateful to hear those words of thanks from Amane. Is it really alright for us to join? She was unsure to whether she would accept new members. Has she found the answer she was looking for then?
ああ、うん。君たちを歓迎するよ。
Oh, yeah, I welcome you all.
ソワリング部へようこそ。
Welcome to the Soaring Club. I don't know what she was worrying about, or how she had arrived at her answer, but it somehow seems that there was no problem with us joining the club.
じゃあよろしく。
Well then, let's do our best. I love Amane, dude. She's so adorable. She said that she was like throwing it... Wait. She said that like she was just throwing it out there before returning to the drawing board. She stares at the diagram with a serious look on her face. Silence. Amane? Hmm?
なんだい？
Yes? What should we be doing?
ああ、そうだったな。お茶でも飲んでくつろいでいてくれ。
Oh, that's right. Make yourselves at home, have a cup of tea.
そこの棚に漫画もあるぞ。
Sorry, I realized my wire for my headphones were backwards, so I was flipping it around. Anyway, there are some manga books on that shelf too. On that shelf was every volume of Slam Dunk. The covers were faded, and it seemed like they'd seen many years of service. The two girls both make faces that say, "This isn't what I thought it would be like." I mean, yeah, well, like Amane really is doing her own thing, and she's not, you know, she's not like a natural leader or anything. She's like very much a solo lone wolf, you know? And so she's not a great club leader, because she's I mean, she even said it. She's kind of doing this for doing her own thing. Like, you know, like they need the members to save the club, but like, I feel like if everybody wants to, I mean, you know, but she's not a leader, so it's like there is gonna be problems. That was pretty much inevitable. My face might have been the same.
何かすることはないの?
Isn't there anything for us to do?
だから漫画でも読んで。
I told you, read some manga.
そうじゃなくって、グライダーのこと?
No, not that. Something to do with the glider.
え?
We really want to get involved with the glider. Amane opened her eyes wide.
そうなのか。変わってるな、君たち。
Oh, that's adorable. She didn't actually expect us to help. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, oh no, it's cool. I don't expect you guys to help me out. That's adorable. Is that so? You guys are strange. I don't want to hear that from you. Amane, could it be that we are in your way by joining the club? She didn't want anyone coming near this garage, did she?
そんなことはないぞ。ただ、
No, that's not true. It's just that...
今まで一人でやってたから、勝手がわからないんだ。
I've been doing this by myself until now, so I don't know what you guys can do. When Amane was within one step of the national championship at the Robot Club, it seemed that she did most of that by herself.
典型的な集団生活が苦手なタイプね。
She's typical of the type of person that's no good with social situations. I mean, everyone calls her antisocial. I would agree with that. You're a fine one to talk. That's true, actually. Good point.
はーい。質問いいですか?
Excuse me, can I ask a question? Agaha raised her hand.
どうぞ。
Go ahead.
ここって具体的にはどんな活動をするクラブなんですか?
Specifically speaking, what are the activities that this club is involved in? Agaha asked a fundamental question. I feel like she has been asked a similar question before, but at that time was only asked for a summary. If we're actually going to take part in this club, we need her to tell us more specific information.
だな。グライダーを製作し、飛ばす。
Well, we make gliders and fly. That's it. I think everyone knows that already.
作るのと飛ばすの、どっちが主体なんですか?
Making or flying, what is the main objective?
グライダー作ったら普通は飛ばすんじゃないの?
After building it, then you'd fly it. Isn't that what normally happens? But you're not aiming to enter competitions or anything, are you?
目指さない。
That's right, I'm not. She answers bluntly and without even a shred of interest.
じゃあ、作る方が主体なんですか?
So the main objective is to build it then?
違うわ。だって、あの雲の上まで飛ぶのが目的なんだもの。
No, that's wrong.
そうよね。
Oh, sorry, too fast again. No, that's wrong. Flying above the clouds is the objective, right? Amane somehow lacks confidence when she nods.
グライダーはどこまでできてるんですか?
How far have you got with the glider?
先日、ようやく組み上がってテストフライトしたんだが。
A few days ago, I finally finished assembling it and went for a test flight, but the wings broke off, right? As Amane explained, she moves to inside the garage.
主翼が折れてしまった。
The main wings snapped. In the corner of the garage were the broken wings.
強度が不足していたらしい。今、設計から見直しているとこなんだが。
It looks like they weren't strong enough. Now I'm reviewing the designs, but looking at the twisted wings, Amane lets out a little groan.
強度計算をやり直しているが、今のところミスが見当たらない。
I've redone the strength calculations, but this time I can't find where the problem is.
理由がわからなくて困っているんだ。
I don't know the reason, so I've got a problem. If Amane doesn't understand, there's no way we will. I thought to myself as Agaha got close to Amane and checked the broken parts of the main wings. Then...
ああ、こりゃ折れるわ。
Yup, this'll snap. She stated simply.
どうしてわかるんだ?
How do you know?
だってほらここ、厚みがバラバラだし、ところどころ歪んでる。
See here? The thickness is uneven and it's distorted in places.
そうかな。
Oh, so it is.
後方が雑だから、接合部が負荷に耐えきれず割れちゃったんですよ。
The construction methods are too rough, and the joints couldn't withstand the load, and it cracked. Well, see, that makes sense that Agaha knows this, because if she's been involved in the robot club, then she knows all about building things. Amane reels in shock.
そ そうだったのか。
Is that what it was? And then,
私は手先が不器用だからな。
it's because I'm not so good with my hands. She becomes timid. You made this by hand, piece by piece?
すべてを私がやったわけじゃないが、機体そのものは手作りだ。
I didn't do it all myself, but the fuselage is handmade.
これ手作りなんだ。
This is handmade? Kotori and I were pretty surprised by this, but Agaha doesn't make much of a big deal about it.
そうか。雑か。そうか。
I see it's rough.
雑か。
I see it's rough. Technically she was still speaking, but it was so quiet it's almost like she wasn't speaking. It's no good, she's totally depressed.
葵くんが手に入れてくれた部品のおかげで、ケーキの不調は直すことができた。
Because of the parts that Aoi got, I was able to fix the malfunction in the instruments.
主翼さえ修理できれば、またテストができるんだがな。
If I can just get the main wings repaired, it can go on another test flight. Are you going to do the wing repairs by hand too?
うん、もちろんだ。
Yeah, of course. Agaha takes a part of the wing that isn't snapped and checks it over with a troubled look on her face.
こりゃ翼は一から作り直した方がいいんじゃないかな。
Wouldn't it be better to build the wings from scratch?
でないと、多分他のところも折れますよ。
If you don't, then the other parts might snap too, you know. Yeah, Agaha seems very wise on the building front, and a poor Amane just like, look man, I'm real smart, but I'm not very good with my hands. Sniff, sniff. Amane looks like she's gonna cry. Alright then, we'll help.
これ FRP ですよね。それなら私やったことあるし、なんとかなるんじゃないかな。
This is fiber reinforced plastic, right? I've worked with this before. I might be able to do something about this.
すぐ取り掛かりましょうよ。その方が早く飛べるんでしょ。
We should start immediately. That way we can fly it sooner, right? The motivation of the 3 new members has returned, and now we feel excited about it.
そうしたいのは山々だが、残念ながら素材がない。
I really want to do that too, but unfortunately there are no materials.
補修用にいくらかはあるが。
There are lots of parts that can be used for repairs.
この大きさのものを新たに作り直すとなると、かなりの量必要になりますよね。
To make something of this size from scratch would require large amounts.
普段はどうやって調達してるんですか？
How do you usually get things like that?
通販だ。
Mail order. Amane goes to the mail order materials website on the laptop connected to the internet.
主翼を作り直すなら、だいたいこのくらいは必要だな。
To remake the main wings, we'll need about this much, said Amane as she entered a number.
いえ、こりゃとてもじゃないけど部費じゃ賄えないでしょう。
That's not a bad price, but there's no way we can afford that on a club budget. I don't know how much the budget is for the Soaring Club, but the price displayed on the mail order site's input page was no small amount.
まあ問題ないだろう。
Well, that's no problem. Click. Amane completed the order.
いいんですか先輩？
Is that okay, Amane?
ああ、このくらいの金額なら全然平気だ。
Yeah, that amount of money should be no problem at all. What do you mean no problem? Could it be that when it comes to the club budget, the Soaring Club gets preferential treatment? No, Amane's probably just paying for this, is what I imagine.
届くのはしばらく先か。制作作業はそれからだね。
It'll take a little while for it to arrive, and then the construction work can begin. Which means that we don't have anything to do after all.
それまで私らは何をしていればいいの？
Until then, what should we do?
漫画でも読んでいてくれ。
I like how that's her strategy. It's like she's trying to entertain little kids, dude. Read some manga books or something. With that order, the Soaring Club leader went back to staring at the design she was working on. I mean, just hang out. Like, you know, you got the club saved. Just enjoy each other's company or whatever. Because then you're still doing club time or whatever. But like, you know, then try to look busy or like you're really doing something really important when what's her face is nearby. When the student council people. Anyway, even if we say we've got nothing to do, it's not like there is nothing whatsoever for us to do. We were still beginners when it comes to gliders, so we took some books from the shelf and started our own little study session. See, that's a good idea. Like, you know, there's so many books about gliders, just start reading up on gliders. Aerodynamics, glider construction, and so on. As for the basics on how aircraft fly, we were told that before by Amane, which I'm really hoping we don't go over again. Which, it's fine, but it was really long. And lots of technical terms, alright? In terms of the various methods of creating what is known as lift, the more we found out, the more interesting it became. And then it was noon.
おいしいおいしい久しぶりのカロリー摂取だ
Man, I can't wait for Amane's romance. Like, mostly just so poor Aoi can take care of her. Like, cause he's like really good at home stuff and cooking and stuff. Like, and poor Amane like doesn't eat for days at a time because she just forgets. She forgets to eat, and in like 2 days or 3 days will go by and she won't eat anything. So I'm looking forward to her romance so poor Aoi can take care of her, because otherwise I worry for her safety. That's tasty. That's the first intake of calories I've had in a while. Amane was already enjoying eating the bread and rice balls that Kotori and I bought at the convenience store this morning. Just for reference, I'd like to ask you, how long has it been since you last ate?
46時間ぶりだなその時は学食のカツ丼を食べた
See?
大盛りだ
What did I just say? I just told you she doesn't eat for days at a time. That's darn near 2 days. It's almost 2 days. 46 hours ago. That time it was a school-made pork cutlet bowl. I had a big bowl.
これも食べる
Would you like to eat this too? Out of pity, Kotori offered Amane her pickled plum rice ball.
ああ、ありがとう
Oh, thanks.
豪快な食べっぷりだね
She has quite the appetite, doesn't she? Witnessing the Amane Mochizuki-style eating techniques for the first time, Agaha is, as expected, pretty freaked out. Yeah, you know, this will be even better for Amane's romance, because obviously Aoi makes very hearty meals for... He's used to making meals for sports people and stuff, and so, you know, he can make his normal proportions, and considering Amane eats a lot, and considering she'll go days at a time with not eating, I imagine she'll appreciate his cooking, unlike other parties I could mention. Anyway... It could be because the image of the beautiful and mysterious senior student that Agaha had been holding onto was being completely destroyed. By the way, because we've had club activities from this morning, Agaha has brought a lunchbox. It's a wise idea. Are there any other parts that we need? I asked Amane once she had calmed down after her meal.
一つだけあるかな
Only one.
何ですか
What is it?
どうしても手に入らなくて実はすごく困っている
I can't get one no matter what I do. The truth is, it's a big problem. From the way she said it, we all get into position to listen seriously to her story.
何なのそれ
What is it you need?
パイロットだ
A pilot. They're like, really? When Amane said this, she made a facial expression she would use if she were on TV, looking straight at the camera. Aren't you gonna fly it?
こないだ飛んでたし
You flew it the other day.
私は下手だからなこの前も危うく着陸に失敗して尾翼を痛めるところだった
I'm not very good, though. Also, last time I almost failed when landing and I damaged the tail. Well, this is the most obvious solution in the world. Aoi should fly it. The dude, he was like, you know, a cyclist, and he seems very mechanically minded. He fixed the dang roof. Like, he fixed the roof at the house. He's not a roofer. Like, he's very good with his hands, and he's very technically minded. At least it feels like to me. And so, you know, based upon what I'm seeing, it makes sense. Aoi should fly it. That's so easy. Problem solved.
本当だお尻こすった跡がある
It's true. The tail has scratches on it.
私は運動神経にはあまり自信がないんだ
I don't have much confidence in my motor skills. Hang on, could you come here for a second? I call Amane over to an open space. Please try to do some repeated side jumps.
おういいぞ
Okay. Amane tried some repeated side jumps like I asked. That's adorable! Look at that!
おっと
Oh my god, it's too cute. I can't help it. That is the cutest little thing. I love that art style. I forget what it's called. Is it Chibi? Chibi? Is that what it's called? I forget the name, but it's like CHIBI, I think, but it's like a really cutesy art style. It's like a cutesy anime art style. I think that's what that is. That is adorable. I love that like more than anything. Because Amane is like maybe like Amane and Ageha so far are my favorite too. So it's like if you had to make it about anybody, making it about Amane is like the greatest thing.
あまねちゃん反復横跳びよ
Amane, it's repeated side jumps, you know.
おう分かっているぞよお
Yeah, I know. It's supposed to be repeated side jumps, but each time the number of steps is different, and sometimes she turns her body. It should be just moving quickly from side to side, but it looks like some kind of terrible dancing. It's true, she's terrible, like all three of them. Without thinking, we all murmured in unison. It didn't seem that motor skills were that important for piloting a glider, but that level of clumsiness could make things pretty dangerous. That's true. Also, insert sounds of exertion here, I have acrophobia? Was it like the fear of flying or something? Wouldn't that be funny? Huh? She's scared of heights! Oh my god! She's scared of heights, dude! I mean, that's super relatable, but like, wow! Why are you, like, you should not be flying. Like, she's very smart, build it, that makes sense. Don't fly it. Like, that is crazy. When I go to high places, I get scared and I feel dizzy. Then why the hell is she making a glider? But I have the qualification, you only need one document. In other words, she's been trying really hard. Oh, that's enough of the repeated side jumps. I was waiting for him to read it. Obviously, he's not gonna read it. That's us. Whew, I'm worn out. Amane wipes the sweat from her forehead. She's a beautiful girl, so at least she's able to do those kinds of movements well. She is beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. Suddenly, Kotori raised her hand. I want to do it. I want to be the pilot. That's not gonna happen. Aoi needs to be the pilot. I mean, I guess she could. I don't know. Can she pilot? I don't know. As Kotori vigorously volunteered, Amane made a troubled face. Is there something like foot pedals or something? I'm sorry, but you can't do it. Again, without knowing, I assume there's foot pedals. Why not? If I need to practice, I'll try really hard. I might not look like it, but I've got great motor skills. I'm sure you do, but there's probably foot pedals. You can't push the rudder pedal though, can you? Ah, I told you there was pedals. Rudder pedal? It turns the tail. Oh, there you go. There are pedals in the cockpit. If you can't push them, you can't pilot it. Kotori moved back dejected. Sorry, Kotori. Well, I'd rather not do it. I'm more interested in making of it than flying. That makes sense to me. I mean, she was in the robot club. She did lots of building, I think she said, so that makes sense. Agaha, who is looking inside the aircraft's cockpit, sounds like she's talking about someone else. I know she is. She's talking about you, dude. See, Agaha already knows. She already knows. That leaves one person. I want to do it. If it's motor skills we're talking about, I'm fairly confident. Alright, it's decided. Aoi, you will undergo training to become the pilot. Yes, and this is how I suddenly came to be the pilot. Hell yeah. That makes sense. Well, that's exciting. We got pilots and stuff. After club activities had finished, I returned to the dorm. Come on, cheer up. What? I am cheerful. That is the face of a cheerful girl if I ever saw one. You probably heard that. Sorry about that. I was throwing away my empty juice. Ever since it was decided that I would be the pilot, Kotori's been feeling down like this. Just because you can't pilot it doesn't mean you can't fly. The glider is a double-seater. I was noticing that too, actually. There are two types of glider cockpits, single-seater and double-seater. The single-seater sits one person, as you would assume, while the double-seater fits two, as, again, you would assume. Little self-explanatory, but whatever. Once I'm able to fly, you're the first person I'm taking with me. It's annoying how it feels like you're looking down on me. Oh, come on, woman! That was a nice thing to say. Don't ruin the moment. But I'll settle for that. Good. Alright, let's prepare for dinner. Luckily, he takes everything in stride. It's a good thing. Hello, we're back. I push the wheelchair as we go into the entranceway. Welcome back, Aoi, Kotori-chan. Hello. Kaneko, thank you so much for yesterday.
私も大空をかけてみたかったわ。
Yeah, good effort though for trying to get us in for the club to be saved. Good effort though. No, I'm glad it went well. I wanted to soar in the heavens too though.
ところで小鳥ちゃん、来てるよ。
By the way, Kotori, she's here.
Huh?
Older sister, I imagine.
小鳥ちゃん
A very excited Kotori-chan. She's like, oh god! As we enter the dining hall with the force of a Saint Bernard from the other day, an unknown girl came flying out to hug Kotori.
お姉ちゃん
Yep, older sister. Sis!
ごめんね。なかなか帰ってこられなくて。
Gonna be honest, I assumed she'd be dark-haired, but, you know, whatever. I'm sorry that I couldn't come back to see you. Kotori's older sister burst into tears as she held her and rubbed her cheeks against hers.
ひばりで話して。
Hold on! That hurts! Hibari, let me go! Okay. Realizing that she was suffocating her younger sister, she lets go of Kotori. Who is she?
うちのお姉ちゃんよ。
She's my big sister. Kotori introduced us in a way that implied I don't like doing introductions.
お姉ちゃん、この意地悪そうな男の子は、まあ見た目ほど意地悪じゃないんだけど、でもチョップとかして暴力的だから。
Why is that my introduction? Like why is that his introduction? Like he's like, this guy is the super violent brute. Like look at the caveman to your left. That's him. Like why is that his introduction? I bet you he doesn't look anything like that. Actually, I think he has a picture somewhere, and in that picture he looked really nice. So that's slander is what that is. Anyway, sis, this mean-looking boy is, well, he doesn't really look that mean, but he's violent and he gives me karate chops. Yeah, hurry up with the introduction.
うちの新しい寮母さん。
He's our new dorm mother. Nice to meet you. I'm Aoi Manase, the current dorm mother. I bowed my head, and Kotori's sister stood up quickly and straightened out her messed up clothes.
ご挨拶が遅くなりました。私、ハバネひばりです。小鳥ちゃんのお姉ちゃんです。
I apologize for the late introduction. I'm Hibari Hibane. I'm Kotori's older sister. She seems very proud to say that she's Kotori's older sister.
新しい寮母さんがいらっしゃったと聞いていたので、一日でも早くご挨拶しなくちゃって思ってたんです。
I heard that there was a new dorm mother, so I thought I should meet you as soon as possible.
けどしばらく仕事で日本を離れていたので。
Because I've been away from Japan with my job for a while.
これ、つまらないものですが、どうぞ皆さんで召し上がってください。
This is nothing special, but please share this with everyone. She gave a deep bow and passed me something wrapped in the paper of a famous Japanese sweet shop. Thank you very much. I was surprised at first, but she seems like she's a perfectly sensible person. She's gentle and seems like a little different to your younger sister. And seems like a nice ... Well, a little different to her younger sister.
何買ってきてくれたの？
What'd you buy?
三船屋の水羊羹よ。あと冷蔵庫にアイスクリームもあるわ。
Sweet bean jelly from Mifune. Also, there is some ice cream in the fridge.
やった！さすがひばりね。
Alright, as expected of my big sister Hibari. Sorry, I'm bopping out to the music right now. Like, if you can hear me swaying in my voice, it's because I'm like rocking out to the music to keep myself entertained while I'm waiting for them to finish reading. Anyway, Kotori rushes straight to the fridge. You can eat that after dinner.
いいでしょ？一口だけ。
It's fine, just one spoonful. No.
ち、相変わらずケチなんだから。
Mean as always. It's for your own good.
小鳥ちゃんがあんなに楽しそうに。心配して損しちゃ。
Kotori looks like she's having such a good time. I had no reason to worry.
そうだ、小鳥ちゃん。
Oh, that's right, Kotori. I was like, whoa, she moves so fast. While Kotori had the fridge open and was rummaging around inside, her sister went over to her.
小鳥ちゃんに会えた嬉しさのあまりすっかり忘れてたけど。
I was so happy to see you that I completely forgot.
学校辞めちゃうって本気なの？
Are you serious about quitting school?
声大きいって。
Not so loud. The boarders are outside the dining hall.
ねえ、どうしても辞めちゃうの？何か嫌なことあった？
Why do you want to quit? Did something bad happen?
もしそうならお姉ちゃんが先生に言って。
If so, I'll speak to your teacher.
辞めるのやめたから。
I'm not gonna quit anymore. She's like, huh?
まだちゃんと決めたわけじゃないけど、もうしばらく頑張ってみることにしたから。
I still haven't completely made up my mind, though. I'm going to keep trying for a little while longer.
そうなんだ。
I see. Hibari breathes a sigh of relief.
小鳥ちゃん突然学校辞めるなんて言い出すから、あっちにいる間もう心配で心配で。
Kotori, when you said you wanted to quit school while I was away, I kept worrying and worrying.
ごめんね、心配かけて。
Sorry for worrying you like that.
それはいいんだけど。
No, that's okay. Oh yeah, she said just now that she was working away from Japan. Kaneko said before that her sister hadn't been here for a while, but was that the reason why? Where'd you go?
海外出張。お姉ちゃん、ドイツ語とスペイン語と英語とスウェーデン語がペラペラだから。
On an overseas business trip, she's fluent in German, Spanish, and Swedish. Wow. This girl's like super multi-talented. Dang. I don't really get it, but that's amazing. What do you mean I don't really get it? What's not to get? She's like, speaks like 4 languages or whatever. And she, and she was on an overseas business trip. What's not to get? Regardless, it's amazing.
私は嫌だって言ったのに、会社の命令で仕方なく。
I was against it, but the company ordered me to do it.
外国語勉強してるのはただの趣味だもんね。
She was only studying foreign languages as a hobby.
小鳥ちゃんと会えなくなるくらいなら、いっそ会社辞めちゃおうかとも思ったんだけど。
If it meant that I couldn't see Kotori, I thought that it might be better to quit the company.
いや、だからそれはやりすぎだってお姉ちゃん。
No, that would be going too far, sis.
いいえ、そんなことありません。
No, not really.
本当は明日帰国するはずだったんだけど、もう心配で心配でいても立ってもいられなくって、一日早く切り上げてきたのよ。
Actually, I was supposed to have been coming back tomorrow, but I was so worried that I was at my wit's end and I came back a day early. She said while clinging onto Kotori.
ねえ、本当は何があったの？お姉ちゃんにみんな聞かせてちょうだい。
So what really happened? Tell me everything.
もういいって、大したことじゃないの。2ヶ月遅れの5月病みたいなもんよ。
It's fine now. It's no big deal. It was like the May blues, but that people usually get 1 month after the start of school year had come 2 months late. Tears well up. Hibari looked at me with tearful eyes. She was trying to say that if I knew anything, I should spill the beans. I think that everything's okay with Kotori. Today she went to do club activities even though we had her day off of school.
部活？
Club activities? We're in the soaring club, right, Kotori?
ソアリング部？何かしらそれ。
Soaring club, what's that?
それは。
It's... Have you heard of gliders? Well, it's like an airplane. It's used to fly through the sky.
空を？
The sky.
違うの、ひばりね。私は飛ばないから。っていうか飛べないし。
Nope, that's not it, Hibari. I'm not gonna fly, or rather, I can't fly.
今日もお前じゃダメだって言われたばっかだし。
I was told just today that I couldn't do it. As Kotori desperately tries to cover it up, she glares at me to give me a signal. That's right, we don't just fly, we build gliders and so on. I don't really know why, but I follow her lead.
そう。
Really?
だから心配しないで。
Yeah, so don't worry. Hibari looked like she'd accepted it for the time being and didn't pursue the issue any further. Well, if there was something that if there was something that Aoi doesn't know, like, oh hey man, don't tell my sister anything I do, cause like she's a worrier or whatever. Like, we need to have these discussions beforehand. I'm just saying. Kotori seemed relieved. It was like there was some reason why we shouldn't be doing club activities. She's probably just concerned about you flying. Understandably. Anyway, sniff sniff, something smells good. Since just now, a smell that stimulated my hunger has been drifting through the air.
パエリアを作ってたんです。出張先で教えてもらったの。
I'm making a food item. I'm not even gonna bother trying to pronounce that. I was taught how to make it while I was away.
皆さんの分ありますから、どうぞ召し上がってくださいね。
There's enough for everyone, so please enjoy. Hibari's home cooking was superb. This food is a Spanish-style cooked rice with shrimp and shellfish, and it's quite refined, so it went down really well with the boarders. Also, after the main course was dessert, which was sweet bean jelly from a famous Japanese sweet shop, it was perfect. Apparently, Hibari had been visiting Flying Fish Manor since a while back, and had been making food for Kotori and the other boarders. Since she was coming to help with the disabled Kotori, she had been given special permission to come at any time by the owner-caretaker. Thanks to her, the level of satisfaction with tonight's dinner was exceptionally high. That's nice.
食べた。
Whew, I'm full. You seem very familiar with Hibari. At the dinner table, Hibari was very open with not only her sister, but with all of the other boarders.
そうだね。
Yeah, you're right.
小鳥ちゃんがああだから、お姉さんなりに気を使ってるんじゃないかな。
Since Kotori is like that, she takes care of her as her big sister, doesn't she? I guess that when she says like that, she's not talking about her disability, she means her personality. Yeah, that's true.
お土産。 絶対みんなの分買ってきてくれるしね。
As for souvenirs, she always buys some for everyone. She has got such a cute little sister, she can't help but want to take care of her. While we speak, Hibari pushes Kotori and her wheelchair out of the dining hall. Thank you for the meal, Hibari.
いいえ、後片付けもやっておきますから置いといてくださいね。
It's okay, I'll clean everything up later, so you can leave it there for now. Even though she said that she had only just gotten back from an overseas business trip, she's got a lot of energy about her, despite her pretty and petite appearance. No, I can do that.
そうそう、美味しいご飯食べたんだから働くべきね。
That's right, after having such a delicious meal, you should do some work. She says it like it was all her doing. Kotori must also be proud of her sister. Kotori, give me a hand later, okay? What? You ate that delicious food too, didn't you?
うー。
For some reason, Kotori's reaction seems a little cuter than usual. It must be her sister's influence.
じゃあその前にお姉ちゃんと一緒にお風呂入っちゃいましょうね。
Okay, before that, we're gonna take a bath together.
それで今夜は一緒に寝るの？
Oh man, does she have like a sister complex? And also, we'll be sleeping together tonight.
ベッドは別だからね。
In separate beds.
なんで？
Why?
だって寝ぼけて抱きつかれると苦しいんだもん。
Because it's really uncomfortable when you hug me when you're half asleep.
それが楽しみで急いで帰ってきたのに。
Come on, Kotori, let her have this. She's a sweetheart. I was looking forward to that, which is why I came here and sat back in such a hurry. Together with her sister, acting downhearted, Kotori headed to the bathroom. As I watched them leave like that, I remembered that Kotori was desperately trying to cover up the fact that she's in the soaring club just now. I was running out of air, can you tell? And I was trying to rapidly finish a sentence so I didn't have to breathe in and interrupt it. It must be because her family would worry if she were to do anything dangerous. I imagine that's probably true. It seems very unnatural to me, and it played on my mind a little. It's interesting. I mean, obviously, I imagine her sister's a worrier, since she clearly seems to have a sister complex. Probably. I mean, you know, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe they're just super tight. She's just clinging. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
夏だからってお腹出して寝ちゃダメよ。
Just because it's summer, you mustn't go to sleep with your stomach exposed. You'll catch a cold.
ちゃんと歯を磨いて1日1回3回お姉ちゃんにメールして。
Make sure you brush your teeth and send me a text once a day. No, 3 times a day.
わかったから。
I've got it, okay?
水瀬さん、
Aoi. Yes?
どうか小鳥ちゃんのこと
Please take
よ
it.
ろしくお願いします。
Sorry, too fast. Please take good care of Kotori. Sure, leave it to me. I thought it sounded a little arrogant, but I answered as the dorm mother and as Kotori's friend.
じゃあね、小鳥ちゃん。何かあったらすぐお姉ちゃんに知らせるのよ。
See you, Kotori. If anything happens, call me straight away. Worried about her sister until the end, Hibari got in the car and left. Today is Monday and the start of the week. It looks like she's going straight to work. She came here in her own car, and apparently her workplace and her house are about an hour away.
ひばり姉に2泊されると疲れるわ。
Hibari stayed for 2 nights, so I'm worn out. She's a good sister, isn't she?
それは認めるけど、いい加減妹離れしてほしいもんだわ。
Yes, I realize that. I just want her to know when to leave me by myself. Would Kotori be able to leave her sister alone? Okay then, shall we go to school now?
であるからして、つまりこの場合。
Therefore, that is to say, this situation. In the 6th lesson of the day, I felt restless. When this finishes, school is done for the day. In other words, time for club activities. Yesterday was Sunday, and the clubs take a day off. I was told that my pilot training would start today, so I couldn't stop myself from feeling like I was itching to go.
ここ期末の範囲内だからな。しっかりノートを取っとけよ。
This is covered in the end of term test, so take good notes. The teacher's laid-back way of speaking actually makes me feel even more annoyed. While I stare at the clock on the wall at the back of the classroom, I wait for time to pass. That is from personal experience, worst method, like doodle or something. Like don't think about the time. Otherwise, it will definitely come to a complete halt. Anyway, I'm just saying. It rang. The bell rang.
じゃあ今日はここまで。今日のところ期末に出るからしっかり復習しとけよ。
Okay, that's all for today. Sorry, I'm stretching and yawning. Okay, that's all for today. The things we studied today will be at the end of term test, so make sure to review it later. The teacher repeats the contents of the lesson before the class chairperson gives the order to stand, then bow. So you teach.
あ、 廊下走るな。
Yep, don't run in the hallway. As I go into the hallway, Kotori, whose seat is near the doorway, is already outside on standby.
遅い。
You took your time. I can't do much about that. My seat's next to the window.
さあ行くわよ。
Okay, let's go. Hold on. Agaha's not here yet. We looked into the classroom where Agaha was surrounded by several girls talking to them about something.
だからここは。
That's why this is... It looks like there was something in the lesson just now that they didn't understand and they were asking her about it. They made a big deal about grades at this school. They make a big deal about grades at this school. If you fail any subjects, it's possible that you have to repeat the year. Wow, really? That's super hypersensitive. My god. It's not like Agaha's grades are anything special, but for certain specialized subjects, she is usually near the top of the rank. That's why, just before the end of term exams, her friends go to her for help. Hey, Agaha!
ああ葵ちょっと待っててもうすぐ終わるから
Oh, Aoi, hang on. I'll soon be finished. Agaha waves through the gap of the wall of girls surrounding her.
ねえ葵くん
Hey, Aoi. She said it would take her just a little longer.
じゃあ先行ってましょうよ
Oh, well then let's go on ahead. But she just asked us to wait for her.
どうせ向こうで一緒になるんだからいいじゃない
We'll see her over there anyway, so it's fine, isn't it? Oh my god, a choice? Whoa! Hang on a minute, save. My goodness, a choice. I can't believe it. Alright, hang on a minute. Sorry, I've got to, oh, not that. No. Alright, hang on, I've got to make sure we're still going. Okay, audio's still going. That's still going. I realize that just because I minimize something doesn't mean it's like anything horrific has happened, but I'm not used to having to Alt-Tab live on the fly. Anyway, okay. Scrolling. So, our first route is Kotori. So, Kotori is the one. So, let's see. We will go ahead with Kotori. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, this one we're going, go ahead with Kotori. Yeah, she is the first route. I can't believe it, our first choice. That's so exciting. Alright, go ahead for Kotori. Let's wait a little longer. Anyway, I'll just hang on for now.
そうじゃあ私は先に行くから
Hang on a minute. Did I not do the right thing? Wait a minute. Wait. This.
前回の
Yes, hang on a minute. Back up. Go ahead with Kotori. Wait for Agaha. Weird. Like, okay, hang on a minute. Now I'm like really concerned. Go ahead with Kotori. Alright, that's what I need to do. So, go ahead with Kotori. Weird. Okay, so it's like, I mean, you have to do that, but he still waits for her. That's so weird. Let's wait a little longer. Anyway, I'll just hang on for now.
そうじゃあ私は先に行くから
Oh, well then I'm going on ahead. Kotori said it with a composed face and really did go on ahead. That's so weird. Like, then what's the point of the option? Oh, okay, no, okay, there you go. I was like rattling my brain, being like, do you think it's bugged? Do you think it's this? Like, I was running through my head, like, possibilities, but there we go. It can't be helped, so I give Agaha a quick shout before chasing after Kotori. We can wait for a little while, can't we?
じゃあ待てばいいじゃない
So why don't you? Are you really that against going with Agaha? Without realizing, I sound anxious as I ask.
嫌じゃないわよ
I'm not against it,
でもなんか緊張するんだもん
but I feel kind of nervous.
気まずいっていうかあの空気に耐えられないの
Or should I say I feel awkward? I just can't stand it. It's always like, it always feels like Kotori had trouble knowing how to be around Agaha. You always act so tough, but really you're a bag of nerves.
人のこと分析するのはやめて
Stop analyzing me. Yeah. She always puts up a front and is wary of strangers. This also affected her in that when she came to this school, she never got used to being part of the class.
そんなにあの子と一緒に行きたいならそうすればいいじゃない
If you want to go together with her that much, why don't you do that?
私一人でも行けるもんエレベーターあるし
I can go by myself. There's an elevator too. That's not what I'm saying. Stop crying.
泣いてなんて言いません
I'm not crying. Really? That's good.
葵くん私のこと泣き虫だと思ってるでしょ
Little sniff. Aoi, you think of a crybaby, don't you? No, I don't.
ムカつく
You're so annoying. I've annoyed her. Kotori stops moving her wheelchair. Is she tired? You want me to push you? Kotori shook her head.
私だって本当はあの子と仲良くしたいわよ
I really want to get along with her,
でもやり方がわからないんだもん
but I don't know how. Well, with Agaha, it's really easy. Just, like, you know, just relax. Like, you know, you got to get out of your own head is really what it comes down to. Like, it's only feels so panicky because you're overthinking it, you know? So stop overthinking it and just like be yourself around her. You'll totally click. Agaha's very friendly, you know?
それに
And
多分私もう嫌われてるだろうし
see that right there. That's anxiety. I don't get the feeling Agaha hates her. Yes, they had the one fight, and it was and it was you know it was not fun, but it wasn't the worst fight ever. And lots of people have little spats, you know, like little, you know, where whatever. And lots of things contribute to that. Little things the person does that annoys you. Maybe you didn't get enough sleep. Maybe you're hungry. I mean, whatever. There's 1,000 reasons why you might be a little more irritable one day than another. But it doesn't mean that like there's this huge overarching relationship problem. Like one little I don't know tense moment does not necessarily mean your whole relationship is just over with anybody, a friendship relationship or anything else. I'm just saying, you know. So that right there, she's just worried that Agaha hates her. But again, and that's the reason that she's so pent up. But she doesn't, I don't think. So I'm just saying, just get out of your own head. It's not as bad as it feels like. Coming from a person who feels too much, trust me, it's a lot of it's in your head. Maybe she already hates me. Huh? Why do you think that?
だってひどいこと言ったしそれにいつも態度悪いし
I said such nasty things to her and also have a bad attitude. If you realize that you have a bad attitude, why don't you do something about it?
ねえどう思うやっぱ嫌われてるかな死んじゃえとか思われちゃってるかな
Good lord, maybe she has like straight up anxiety. Hey, what do you think? Hey, what do you think? She hates me, doesn't she? She wishes I were dead, doesn't she? No, good god, no. No, she doesn't. I simply stated that for the time being.
なんでそう言えるわけ
Because she's like practically blood related to me. How can you be so sure? I've known her for a long time, so I know that much about her.
そうかしら
Perhaps. She's so paranoid. Kotori puts her hand on her chin and starts thinking.
どうすれば仲良くできるんだろう
How do I get along better with her? You gotta be like your genuine self, like you are with Aoi when you know, you gotta put the tsundere aside. Put the tsundere aside, be real Kotori, and you'll get along swimmingly. Anyway, how can I get along better with her? Well, for example... Yeah? Yes? It just sounds like a Skaven. I'm never gonna unhear that. Yes! Anyway, sorry. Before going to club activities, if she says, wait for me, why not wait for her?
だってそれ私に言ったんじゃないもの
But she didn't say that to me, because I'm the one who called out to her. He's like, she didn't, like, she wasn't ignoring you. Me and her just happened to be talking, like, you know. Should we go back to the classroom?
いやいい
No, it's fine.
今さら戻るの恥ずかしいもん
If I go back now, I'd be embarrassed. She really did sound embarrassed as she spoke, then moved off in her wheelchair. Sure, I'm worried about the delicate situation between the two of them, but there's no need to rush things. Things like this take time. Friendship is something that grows slowly. If there is anything I can do to help, then I will. Well, I don't know, man. I don't think friendship is necessarily something that grows slowly. I think it can, but I don't know. I've known lots of people that I became very quick friends with. It only takes a few days sometimes, you know what I mean, or a few days or a few weeks or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think it can be a slow thing, but a lot of the little friendships I've had, like, you know, they're kind of work friends where you are friends, but not quite enough to take the step to hang out after work or whatever. And I've had lots of like work friends that I hadn't ever taken that farther post-work friends step with, but you know, like a lot of that happened really quickly. So I think, you know, I think it depends on the friendship. Anyway, how are we gonna do the flight training? Once all of us second graders had gathered, I asked Amane. Amane has been playing around with a bundle of tangled PC cables, and we can only see her from the other side of the desk.
飛ぶんだ
By flying. Flying? I imagined it would be something like doing weight training to build physical strength. Bro, it's a plane. It's not a physical fitness test. But I still can't fly, can I? There's no way we can fly using those broken wings.
そこの壁際の荷物をどかせてくれ
Could you move those boxes that are over there by the wall? As requested, I tidy away the boxes piled up against the wall of the garage.
うわーなんだかよくわかんないものが山盛りだね
Well, there are piles of these things, but I don't even know what they are. Since before Amane and the others started coming here, the garage has had many mysterious boxes and antique parts left inside. Not parks. There's so many parks. National parks, little parks, dog parks. There's so many parks.
何これなんでこんなところに剣とか槍があるの
What is this? Why is there a sword and a spear in a place like this?
こっちにヌンチャクあるよ
There are some nunchucks over here. There's a broken toy gun too. Of course, the sword and the spear are well-made replicas. As for the other things, if I had bought them, I would think, why the hell did I buy this? And would definitely regret buying them. There are many things that look like souvenirs that were bought on school-leaving trips. I could easily tell that the members of Long Ago made this garage their own.
できたわよ
Finished.
よしじゃあ電気を消してくれ
Okay, turn off the lights. Ooh, are things getting mysterious? As the lights were turned off, the inside of the garage became pitch black. Amane was operating some kind of machine. Then, on the wall where all the boxes were before, a PC screen appears.
プロジェクターだ
It's a projector,
映画館みたい
like in a movie theater. Are we gonna watch an instructional video?
葵くんこっちへ来てくれ
Alright, could you come over here? Anything you want, babe. Sitting down in the chair that Amane had prepared, I was handed a computer game controller. What are we doing?
だから飛ぶんだよこれはフライトシミュレータだ
Like I said, you're gonna fly. This is a flight simulator. Flight simulator? I've heard of them, but not exactly sure what they are.
ゲームみたいなものだフライトを疑似体験できる
It's just like a computer game. It simulates the experience of flying.
実際に飛ばなくても操作方法やグライダーで飛ぶ感覚はある程度身につけられるはずだ
Even if you don't actually fly, you can to some extent learn the controls and the feeling of flying a glider.
よくわかんないけどなんだかすごそうね
I don't really understand, but it sounds pretty good. You know, I feel like that this has got to be a translation thing, because the lines of I don't really get it, but insert whatever sentence here, or I don't really understand in this case. I don't really understand, but it sounds pretty good. I don't know. Like, I think it's got to be a translation thing or something, right? Because like it's super common in anime. It's a very common line of like I don't really get it, but, or I don't really understand, but insert whatever the rest of the sentence is. It's very common in anime. Like, I mean, because obviously that's where my sphere of like hearing like Japanese or whatever is from. It's a very common sentence, and I feel like it's got to be something like just how it's translated or whatever. Because like I don't know, like with that, what's not to understand? It's a flight simulator. It simulates flight. It's a flight simulator. Like, and she just explained it. It's like a computer game, but you like you would simulate how to be inside of the cockpit and what all the controls do and how it feels to fly a little bit, like, get a little more familiar with the concept of it. You know what I mean? So it's like, what's not to understand? So I don't know. I feel like this has got to be some sort of translation thing that like, it's like saying, it's like a sentence when you don't know what else to say, I don't really understand, but it sounds pretty good. Like, I don't really feel like she's saying, I cannot wrap my mind around the concept of that you're shooting right now, or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't really feel like it's that. I feel like it's like a filler sentence, like they don't know what else to say. It's like saying, cool, sounds awesome, or cool, sounds good, or whatever. I don't know, it feels like to me, it just feels like a filler sentence, and I'm not a linguist, I barely speak English, but, I speak English, I don't speak any other language, I can understand a few words here and there from several languages, but, like, that's it, you know what I mean? Anyway, I digress. It's not the point. I'm just wondering.
市販のやつですか
Is this commercially available?
いや自分で作った
Wow, she is smart. No, I made it myself. My God, she is smart.
これは風ヶ浦の地形と我々のグライダーに特化したシミュレータだからな
This is the topography of Kazagura. This is a simulator specifically for our glider. Wow, she is smart. Holy crap. Adam on his command, the screen changes. Apparently she knows how to code and program. That's awesome. The town of Kazagura that we all know, shown as a landscape as viewed from the air, is projected onto the wall. This is shown in pretty CG that is at least on the level of the cutscenes of RPGs on the latest consoles.
やっぱすごいよこの人は
She really is amazing. Agaha mumbles while looking at the screen being projected.
昨日のうちにデータは最新のものにしておいたからよりリアルな感覚で飛べるはずだ
This was updated with the latest data yesterday. You should be able to get a very realistic sense of flying. Okay. I show that I'm impressed with the Mane's amazing work and get myself fired up.
では始めるぞ
Well then, let's begin. A glider, modeled in CG, appears on the screen.
操作を覚える前にグライダーの動きについて説明するぞ
Before you learn the controls, I'll explain the movements of the glider.
グライダーの運動は縦軸 横軸、垂直軸、この3つの軸を回転する動きで説明できる。
I feel like we're about to be thrown into another Bill Nye-esque explanation. Oh, my poor brain. The glider movements can be explained as rotation on 3 axes. Oh my god, how the hell do you pronounce that? Longitudinal? Is that how you say that? Lateral and vertical.
まずはローリング。
First is rolling. On the screen, the longitudinal, if that's how you say that, axis that runs along the length of the fuselage and the movement based on rotation on that axis were displayed. I understood none of that, but it's showing it. This is this plane rotating. That's what that said, in case you're wondering. The movement is called rolling.
次にピッチング。
Next is pitching. This time, the lateral axis coming out of sideways from the fuselage and the movement based on the rotation on this axis were shown. Up and down. There you go. Or it's like tilting it up and down, you know what I mean? There you go. That's what that one said. The movement raises and lowers the nose and is known as pitching. There you go.
そして最後はヨーイング。
Then finally is yawing. Comes shortly before or after yee-hawing. Going through the... That was so stupid. I'm so sorry. Going through the fuselage vertically was the vertical axis, and the movement based on rotation along with the axis were displayed side to side. Now you know. The movement, yawing, moves the nose left and right. Just to that part. If they just kept this sentence, like the after sentence of whatever they're... Because, like, obviously they're getting very technical. They're very technically showing you, like, this is technically, it's from the tail of this part to the tip of this part, or whatever. This is the axis, or whatever. I retain none of that information. When it goes like, like this sentence, like, summarizes exactly what happened. And then the movement. For me, the movement's the best part. But this movement, yawing, moves the nose left and right. That's what that is. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's too much information. When it gets too technical, I can't retain it. Just a
こ
thought.
の3つがグライダーの基本的な動きだ。わかるか？
Sorry, too fast. These are the 3 basic movements of the glider. You understand? Yeah, I think so.
グライダーがどんなに複雑なマニューバーを描いてるように見えても、実はこの3つの動作の組み合わせによるものなんだ。
No matter how complex the maneuvers made by the glider are, the truth is they are all combinations of these 3 movements.
だからパイロットはこの3つの動きを操作するだけでいい。
That's why the pilot only needs to know how to operate these 3 movements. I see. So the basics are quite simple then. Kotori and Nagaha are listening to the conversation and nodding along.
じゃあそれを踏まえた上で実際に操縦してみよう。
Okay, with that in mind, let's try actually operating it. Amane selects the mode on the PC and the screen changes again. The sky and the horizon are projected across the wall.
これはコックピットから見た映像ですか？
Is this the view from the cockpit?
あ、そうだ。
Yep, that's right.
へえ、こんな風に見えるんだ。
Wow, so this is what it looks like. The glider is already flying through the air. Just because I'm used to video games, this feels incredibly slow. It doesn't really feel like it's moving forward at all.
離陸と着陸、特殊な状況を除いて君が操作するものは2つ。
Except for takeoff and landing and some other special cases, there are 2 things you need to control.
操縦桿とラダーペダルだ。
The yoke and the rudder pedal. I've seen the cockpit many times, so I know about that. I will say this though, like something that this visual novel is already doing that I am a big fan of is very like this part, you know what I mean? Like changing the view so it shows you this like picture of the cockpit and stuff, and then tilts it down, and you know what I mean? Like it makes it feel a little more alive, you know? It's not like a very lazy approach or anything to like, you know, like it illustrates what they're talking about, and I appreciate it because like, you know, like this part, like the one way to make like a lot of this technical stuff like too much, you know, like just straight up unpleasant, is if they took a lazy approach and they had just Amane just read the whole thing and they showed you nothing. Like that would be worse, because then you don't even have this pretty picture to look at, you know, like this part. It makes it feel realistic. You can picture what it would be like to sit in the cockpit, things like that. Like they do you know, they do good with that, like helping to describe all of that, and you know, and what that all means and stuff, and you know, stuff like that. I'm just saying I appreciate that. Anyway, the yoke is the stick that comes out from between the pilot's legs. I've seen some scenes in movies where pilots are flying fighter planes, and the yoke is the thing that they're holding on to. It has a button on it, and if you push it, it launches missiles. Of course, the glider doesn't have anything like that. It's like the steering wheel in a car. Then there are left and right rudder pedals, one of each, and are operated by pushing them with your feet. What happens if you push both? Can you push both?
それぞれコントローラーに対応している。左のアナログスティックが操縦桿、LR ボタンがラダーペダルだ。
That makes sense. The controller corresponds to each one. The left analog stick is the yoke, the L and R buttons are the rudder pedals. I try the analog stick and the L and R buttons on the gamepad. It's a little slow, but the field of vision in the center of the screen swings around. Whoa!
無茶をするとストールして墜落するから気をつけろ。
If you get careless, it'll stall and fall to the ground, so watch out. Okay.
操縦桿だが、これはさっき説明した3つのうち2つ。ローリングとピッチングを操作できる。
First is the yoke. This controls two of the three movements that I explained just now, rolling and pitching.
左右に倒せば、その方向に機体がロールする。
If you move it left and right, the fuselage will roll in that direction. I move the analog stick, in other words the yoke, slowly to the left. There, straighten it back out. There you go. It's a little slow, but the aircraft responds. The horizon in the middle of the screen leans to the right.
操縦桿を倒すと、どうして機体が傾くの？
What makes the aircraft lean when you move when you move the yoke?
いい質問だ。それは操縦桿でエルロンを操作しているからだ。
Good question. That's because the yoke controls the Ailstorm. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Ailerons? Ailerons? I have no idea.
エルロン？
Even she pronounced that better than I did. It's like Kotori has a big question mark on her face as she hears that unfamiliar word. Frickin' same, Kotori. Frickin' same.
主翼についている補助翼のことだ。
These are the wings fitted to the main wings. Like the little tiny baby wings in back. Is that what that is?
主翼の外側の後ろについていて、操縦桿を左に倒せば、左翼のエルロンが上がり、右翼のエルロンが下がる。
Oh, yeah, that's like the little cutout part. Those are like the flaps. Okay, alright, I think I know what they're talking about now. They're attached to the outside rear of the main wings. If you move the yoke left, the left wing's flap is raised, and the right one's wings flap is lowered.
そうすると、左翼の揚力は減少。逆に右翼の揚力は増大するから、
Right.
機体は左にバンク。つまり、傾いて旋回をする。
It's how you turn it. That's what that means. It's how you turn left and right and stuff. Now you know. Same thing with the rudder and the back, you know what I mean? It's like the same thing, but it's on the sides. When that happens, the lift on the left wing is reduced while the lift on the right wing is increased. The aircraft banks, in other words, leans by rotating to the left. Turns left. Now you know. Leaning and turning, huh? It's the same as a bicycle. A bicycle has a handlebar, but you don't turn by moving it left and right. You turn by leaning the bike. To some degree. There is a very light amount of
操
turning.
縦桿を使ったもう一つの操作。ピッチングについてだが、
Okay, like on a bike, a lot of the turning is just leaning left and right. Like that part's true, but you do have to move the handlebars a hair, like just a hair, like a very tiny bit. So you move the handlebars just the smallest margin, and then but mostly you just lean and it just turns. So it's a combination, but yes, mostly it is mostly leaning left and right. Anyway, there is one more movement that can be made with the yoke, and that is pitching.
ピッチングとは、要は機種を上げ下げする動きのことだ。
Pitching is, in short, moving the nose up and down. It's also the act of throwing a baseball. Now you know.
操縦桿を後ろに引けば頭が上がり、前に倒せば下がる。
You guys are just sitting there like, could you not? You're ruining this moment for us. Anyway, if you pull the yoke back, the nose goes up, and pushing it forward makes it go down. It's inverted and stuff for flights. Now you know. Wait, moving it forward. Yeah, I think. I would have to play it in a game to be able to see if it was inverted or not. I would know it the second I tried to look up and down, but I can't. It's hard to do it when it's just like a text. You know what I mean? I tried pushing the yoke forward. Whoa! The screen moves and the percentage of the screen filled with the ground increases. The aircraft points downwards and I feel a much greater sense of speed.
機種を下に向けると機体は下降していくが、その分速度が増す。
By pointing the nose down, the aircraft drops, but the speed also increases. I see. I imagine it sliding down on the air. This time, I tried pulling the yoke back. I was no longer able to see the horizon. It felt like I was floating, and I realized the speed was dropping.
これはどうやって操作しているの？ またさっきのエルロン？
How is this controlled? With the little flaps you told us about just now? I'm refusing to try and pronounce that word.
いや違う。以前紙飛行機で実験しただろ。機体の上下の動きを制御していたのは。
No, it isn't. Before we did experiments with paper airplanes, didn't we? The thing that controls the up and down movements in the aircraft is... When Kotori was playing around with the tails on the paper airplane, she made one do a beautiful loop-de-loop.
あ、水平尾翼！
Ah, the horizontal tailplane. Amane nods her head as if to say, well done.
ピッチング。つまり上下の動きは水平尾翼についたエレベータという舵で操作する。
Pitching, in other words, the up and down movements, are controlled with a rudder called an elevator, pitched to the horizontal tailplane. We've heard of an elevator before, of course, but this was different to the type that goes up and down in buildings.
通常機種を上げれば揚力は高まる。
Usually, raising the nose increases lift. In other words, the aircraft will rise.
だが上げすぎると逆に揚力を失うことになる。
However, if it's raised too much, it will lose lift instead. You'll stall if you just go up into the air.
気流が翼面に沿って流れることができなくなり、剥離してしまうからだ。
The airflow will no longer be able to move along the wings and it will break away.
この現象をストールという。揚力を失うとどうなるかは説明するまでもないな。
Hey man, I played Microsoft Combat Flight Simulator when I was young. I know all about stalling. Thank you. This phenomenon is known as a stall. I don't need to explain what happens if you lose lift. You can't fly if there's no lift and it will inevitably fall.
そうなったらもう落ちるしかないんですか？
If that happens, there's nothing left to do but fall?
いや、立て直すことは可能だ。
No, it's possible to straighten out.
ストールはどんな時にも起こり得るから、ストールからの回復訓練はしっかり積んでおく必要がある。
A stall can occur at any time, so it's necessary to undergo stall recovery training. Okay. When it's suggested that falling is a possibility, I find it hard to breathe. Well, you're only in a flight simulator, my dude. Don't worry about it. When you're flying through the air, even a tiny mistake can cost you your life.
試しに一度落ちてみようか。
Should we try dropping? Huh? Amani pulls back hard on the analog stick. The nose points further and further upwards, and then...
臨界無改革を超えた。ストールしたぞ。
It succeeded the critical angle, it stalled. And we're falling backwards. The aircraft stopped moving as if it was floating, then the next moment the screen started spinning like crazy as it began hurtling towards the ground. And you're dead.
ゲームオーバーって。
It said game over.
とまあこんな感じだ。訓練ではわざとストールやスピンを起こして、そこから回復する練習をするんだ。
Well, that's what it's like. In training, stalls and spins are caused on purpose, and then recoveries are practiced.
実際に空でやると怖いぞ。死ぬかと思うぞ。
Actually, doing that in the air is really scary. You think that you're gonna die. If you're scared of heights, maybe that really is true. Because of how well the simulation is made, I got a powerful enough impression just from the graphics. Amane selects the mode, and once again we start flying.
で、次はラダーペダル。
Okay, next is the rudder pedal. In the simulator, this is controlled with the L and R buttons.
これはラダーを操作するわけだが、ラダーとは日本語で方向だという垂直尾翼についている。
These operate the rudder, which is also known as the directional rudder. It is attached to the vertical tailplane.
右を踏めば機種が右を向き、左を踏めば機種が左を向く。ヨーイングの動きを制御するんだ。
If you press the right pedal, it moves pedal, not puddle. It moves right. If you press the left pedal, not puddle. I almost said it again. It moves left. This controls yawing.
横を向くの？でも曲がるときは主翼についてるエレロンを使うんでしょ？
Kotori, stop asking clarifying questions. You're making this take longer. This turns it sideways, but when you turn, you use the little flaps on the wings, right?
エルロンだけで旋回した場合、グライダーは正面を向いたままバンクした内側に滑っていくように移動することになる。
If you just use the little flaps, the aircraft still faces forwards, but moves like it's slipping along the side it banks on. I realize that to me makes no sense, but like, and I don't know which buttons are which in the game, but from playing different flying games and stuff, like, it's possible without like turning the aircraft left and right to just like, you know, use buttons or whatever. At least I think I used to do that in Combat Flight Simulator back in the day. But anyway, you can like make the aircraft turn left and right, but not like turn the whole thing sideways. Like just without it turning left or right, you know, have the whole aircraft, you know, move to the left or move to the right without banking, like without dipping its wings at all. Like basically.
どういうこと
What does that mean?
前を向いたまま斜めに進むってことじゃない
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was trying to describe. If it's still facing forward, it would move diagonally, wouldn't it? Amane nods.
そこで同時にラダーを操作してやり、旋回したい方向へ頭を向けてやるんだ。
By operating the rudder at the same time, you can turn the nose in the direction you want to face. Like the handlebars in a bicycle? While leaning the bike, you turn the handlebars in that direction. If you don't, you won't be able to turn well. Using bicycles as an example, leaning the bike left to right is like the flaps, and the handlebars are like the rudder.
なるほど。旋回したいときはエレロンとラダー両方が必要と。
I see. When you want to turn, you must use both.
そうだ。けど、それだけじゃまだ不十分だ。
That's right. However, that alone is not enough.
旋回中、機体を傾けると揚力が減るので、機体が大きく降下してしまう。
When turning, leaning the aircraft causes a drop in lift, and the aircraft will drop down quite a lot.
なるべく高度を保ったまま旋回するには、操縦桿を横に倒しながら、少しだけ後ろに引いてやる必要があるんだ。
To keep as much speed as possible, when turning, you need to move the yoke sideways and also back a little. When you turn, you must use all of the axes at the same time. Using what and when looks like it's quite intuitive.
以上。飛んでいる時に必要な操作はこれだけだ。
It sounds very complicated, but like when you're playing a flying game or whatever, which is what I'm equating this to, then it comes very naturally. I mean, you're not going to be thinking about all the controls; you'll just do it. So it sounds when they describe it to you like that, it sounds very complicated and very scary. But if you're just playing it, it's not. It's totally fine. That's all. Those are the only controls you need when flying. Now you know. After ending her explanation, Amane turned on the lights.
結構簡単なのね。
It's pretty simple, isn't it? Not when you guys describe it like that, it's not.
そうだね。
Yeah, it is. When I heard unfamiliar words like, you know, plane parts, it sounded complicated, but once I tried it, it was quite easy. Moving the yoke backwards, forwards, left, and right, and pressing the left and right pedals. That's all there is to it.
アクロバットでもしない限り難しい操作はほとんどない。
As long as you don't try any aerial acrobatics, there are almost no difficult controls.
グライダー乗りに必要なのは風を見つける能力なんだ。
The thing you need to ride the glider is the power to find the wind. Find the wind?
どこにどんな風が吹いているか。サーマルはどこにあるのか。
Where and what kind of wind is blowing, where the vertical drafts are.
そうして見つけた風に上手に乗ることができるかどうか。
Finding the wind like that determines whether you can fly it well or not. So you mean you need knowledge, experience, and intuition?
そんなところだな。
Yes, that's correct.
景気類の見方はおいおい覚えてもらうとして、まずは慣れることだな。
For you to learn how to read the instruments, first you have to get used to them.
あとはこっちのパソコンの画面で練習してみてくれ。
Next, you can practice by looking at the computer screen. Okay, got it. I sat down in front of the PC and started practicing immediately. Good for you, bro. Go for it. Club activities have finished and we're on our way home.
あずい。
It's so hot. Agaha is fanning the chest of her sweat-drenched uniform. She sees me looking.
おなになに何見てんの
Oh, just a fine piece of machinery. It's like, pardon? Nothing. It's like, what are you looking at? Oh, just looking at a tall glass of water. She's like, could you not? Sorry. What are you looking at? She sees me looking at her chest and asks cheerfully, you know, you should try to do it a little more ladylike.
しょうがないじゃん。胸が一番汗かくんだもん。
I can't help it. My chest is the sweatiest place.
これって女らしいってことじゃない
That's ladylike, isn't it? I mean, technically. She asks as she carries on fanning herself. I get a slight feeling that she's trying to show me. I mean, hey, who am I to stand in the way of you know, a girl doing what she wants? Who am I anyway?
ガレージのエアコン弱くないお尻が蒸れちゃうんだけど
Could both of you just take a deep breath? With Kotori talking about her butt and Agaha talking about how sweaty her chest is. Poor Aoi is just like standing between them. He's like, you know, it is kind of warm out here, but suddenly I'm getting really hot. The air conditioning in the garage is pretty weak, isn't it? My butt gets really hot. Says Kotori as she wriggles her backside around. When it comes to these two, it's spacious and there's no effective heat insulation from the ceiling. It's like a prefabricated building. There's no attic, and the heat from the sun transfers directly to the inside. Even if we turn on the air conditioning, it only has a half the effect. That's unfortunate.
ロボット部よりかはマシよ。あっちは人数多いからムシムシするのよね。
It's better than the robot club, though. Oh, sorry, Agaha, too fast again. It's better than the robot club, though. There are lots of people, so it gets really humid from the sweat. Listening to Agaha's story, Kotori makes a face that says, ew.
さてと、私こっちだから。
Alright, I'm going this way. We get to the usual fork in the road, where Agaha leaves us to go in the other direction.
じゃあね。
See ya. Hey, Agaha.
ん？
You want to get some ice cream from the convenience store?
いいけど、なんで急に？
Yeah, sure, but why all of a sudden? You two were saying how hot it is, and I suddenly felt like eating one. You want to eat one too, Kotori?
いいけど。
Huh? Yeah, okay. Well played, Aoi. He's just trying to repair these two. You know, that's what he's trying to do right there. Kotori seems to be thinking about Agaha being there when she answers. Okay, let's go. Well played, Aoi. Well played. I start walking ahead. He's like, follow me. Let's go get ice cream to cool off. In the convenience store parking lot, I bite into the ice cream that I had bought. Hanging out in front of the convenience store is one of the privileges of being a high school student. Agaha got watermelon flavor, Kotori got chocolate chip, and I chose vanilla monaka.
ハバネさんはカップ派か。
The ones in cups are like, I like ice cream cones because ice cream cones themselves taste very good. However, like, I prefer any ice cream in a cup because the fact is I don't want to have a time limit on eating it. Like, so if I'm having an ice cream and if I eat it slowly or whatever, I don't want to have to wolf it down because it's melting in my hands on an ice cream cone. So in general, I prefer anything in a cup because if it melts, then I don't want to have a time limit. Like, you have to eat this certainly this quickly, otherwise it's going to be a puddle. It's going to melt around your hands. You know what I mean? Just saying. So you prefer the ones sold in cups, Kotori?
棒のアイスは途中で溶けてきて手がベトベトするから好きじゃないの。
See, Kotori knows. She knows. Ice cream on a stick melts halfway through and it makes your hands sticky, so I don't really like it. It seems like everyone has their own preferences when it comes to ice cream.
ねえ葵、シミュレーターどうだった？
Hey, Aoi, how was the simulator? I still don't really understand it. It was pretty tricky.
どこがどう難しいの？
What part was difficult? It just feels kind of inconvenient, you know? When I think about doing something, I'm not able to do it quickly. The feeling I get when I move it and the speed, it's quite easy to steer though.
エルロンもラダーもエレベーターも風を受けなきゃ効果ないもんね。
If there's no wind, the parts have no effect though. That's right. Using the power of the wind to control the position of the aircraft. Of course, if the wind is strong, small movements of the controls have a big effect and vice versa. However, the glider doesn't have an engine. You can easily speed up or slow down. You can't easily speed up or slow down. If you do one thing, it affects everything else, and that kind of makes it difficult. You can't just think about the current situation, you have to act according to what will happen next. It means that experience is needed to ride this thing.
乗ってて気持ちよかった？
Did it feel good to fly it? Well, to be honest, the simulator doesn't feel that good at all. You were watching the screen, right?
なんていうかすごいもどかしい感じだった。
Yeah, how should I say? It looks really frustrating.
3D のシューティングゲームに比べると圧倒的に爽快感がなかったわね。
Compared to 3D simulator games, it was nowhere near as exhilarating, sorry. Yeah, that's true.
実際に飛ぶのとはやっぱり違うのかな？
It must be a lot different to actually fly, though. I think so. I can imagine that somehow. How it would feel to fly through the sky in that thing, I wonder. It still feels a bit unclear.
いいな。私も飛んでみたい。
It's nice, isn't it? I want to fly too.
シミュレーターならやってみればいいんじゃない？
Why don't you give the simulator a try? You can control everything with your hands.
いい。今は葵くんがやるべき時だから。
No, I'm okay. Now's the time for you to do it, Aoi. Aoi? I'll be patient for now. That's what it seemed like she was saying. Without thinking, Agaha and I look at each other.
じゃあ早いとこ翼を作って実際に飛べるようにしないとね。
Okay, let's hurry up and make the wing so we can actually fly it. Yeah. If I can quickly become able to fly by myself, I can take Kotori with me. I might be getting ahead of myself, but it's good to have a target.
チェ外れか。残念。
Oh, I didn't win a prize. Pity. Agaha finished eating her ice cream and threw the stick into the trash can. I finished eating too, so I throw my Monaka wrapper into the trash can. Kotori was still eating and hurriedly ate the last of her chocolate chip ice cream. It wasn't as bad as Amane, but the way she ate kind of ruined her pretty girl image. Then she rushed over in her wheelchair and came to throw the cup into the trash can. Does she think that if she doesn't do it quickly, we'll leave her behind? Well, while we were away from Kotori, Agaha had come up beside me.
気を使ってくれてありがとう。
Thank you for being so considerate. What do you mean?
とぼけちゃって。私とハバネさんのために誘ってくれたんでしょ
For playing dumb. You invited Kotori and I over here for our sakes, didn't you? I don't know, did I? Looking at me as I quietly played dumb, Agaha smiled cheerfully. Well played, Aoi.
お待たせ。
Well played. Sorry to keep you waiting. You didn't need to rush like that.
それじゃあ帰りますか。
Okay, I'm off.
また明日ね。
Sorry, too fast again. Okay, I'm off now. See you tomorrow. Yeah, see ya.
さようなら。
Bye. We see Ageha off as she waves her hand. Then I push Kotori's wheelchair along the road back to the dorm. Yay! Well, I mean, hey, that's fantastic and good for him, man. He's so considerate. He's such a good person. You know, he's just like,
何これ。
yeah, he's like so considerate. He's such a good person. He's like pretends to play dumb to like get his friends to get along, you know? Wow, what's this? What's this? What's this? After school, we went to the garage and saw large amounts of cardboard boxes and tin cans piled up.
いやあ、君たち。
Oh, it's you guys. What is all this?
ああ、ついに届いたのね。
Ah, it finally arrived. Before Amane answers, Agaha comes in after us and her eyes sparkle as she looks on. I'm assuming this is the materials?
主翼を製作するための資材だ。外にまだあるから運ぶのを手伝ってくれないか？
These are the materials for making the main wings. There are still some outside, so could you give me a hand carrying them? Then, with a great deal of effort, we carry the materials. Nice. Agaha goes to check them off against the purchase order.
オッケー。全部来てます。
Okay, it's all here.
よし。
Great.
これでようやく翼が作れ
With
る。
this, we can finally make the wings. Agaha is extremely enthusiastic. Well, it makes sense. It seems like she really likes building stuff.
この大きなのは何？でっかい割にやたら軽いけど。
What's this big thing here? It's huge but really light.
発泡スチロールだ。型を作るのに使う。
It's styrofoam. We use it to make the shape.
片翼の長さは約8メートル。その型を取るんだからかなりの量必要になるのよ。
The length of a single wing is about 8 meters. We need quite a large amount to make the shape. That must be why there's such large amounts of other materials too.
それが完成すれば飛べるようになるのよね。じゃあ早く作りましょう。
Once they're complete, it'll be able to fly, right? Okay, let's start making them right away. Kotori is also keen to start, but it's not like she knows how to make them. How do we make them? Is it something that we can do here?
FRP で作るから多分特殊な機材はほとんどいらないと思う。広さ的にも問題ないんじゃないかな。
It's made from FRP, fiber reinforced plastic, so I think that it probably won't need any special equipment. The question is whether we have enough space or not.
ですよね、天音先輩。
Isn't that right, Amane?
ああ。前もここで作ったしな。
Yeah, they were made here last time too. But what is that, FRP stuff? I'm not familiar with that term.
強化プラスチックのことだ。主翼を作るための素材になる。
It's strengthened plastic. The main wings are built from this material. Strengthened plastic? Even as I say it, it still doesn't make sense. What? What doesn't make sense? It's plastic that's stronger than normal plastic. That's what it is. The broken wings are propped up against the wall. They are smooth and hard to the touch. I thought it would be made from aluminum or something.
プラスチックなんかで割れちゃったりしないの？
Wouldn't the plastic crack though? Asked Kotori as she looks at the broken pieces.
それは大丈夫。ちゃんと作ればね。
It's okay as long as they're properly made.
おかしいな。ちゃんと作ったのにな。
It's strange. I thought I did make them properly. Amane goes deep into thought as she looks at the broken pieces next to Kotori.
FRP ってすっごい頑丈なの。
FRP is really sturdy.
プラスチックにガラス繊維を混ぜて強度を上げたものなんだけど、考え方は鉄筋コンクリートと同じかな。
It's plastic mixed with fiberglass, which increases its strength and is based on the same idea as reinforced concrete. Reinforced concrete?
ほら、あれってコンクリートの中に鉄筋を通すじゃない？
Well, that's where they put reinforcing iron bars through the concrete.
コンクリートは硬いけど、 引っ張られたり曲げられたりする力に弱いの。鉄筋を通すことでその弱点を補ってるわけ。
Concrete is strong, but it weakens if it's pulled or bent. The iron bars compensate for the weakness.
FRP も同じで、硬いけど弾性率が低いプラスチックにガラス繊維を混ぜることで強化するの。
FRP is the same. Plastic is strong but lacks flexibility and is strengthened by being mixed with fiberglass. I see. I'll just go along with it for now. If he still doesn't get it, he's just not meant to understand. I'm not sure if I understand or not. Oh my god. As for the finer details, we'll probably learn about those in class sooner or later. That's the kind of school it is.
どうして鉄やアルミじゃなくその FRP っていうのを使うの？
Because they're heavy as hell? Like, why? We don't need to, A, we don't need to know, and B, like, because it's heavy. Like, it has to be light to fly. That's how it works. Why is FRP used instead of iron or aluminum? Because iron and aluminum are really heavy and there's no engine to push this stuff through the air?
いくつか利点があるんだけど、多分グライダー製作には最も適した素材なんじゃないかな。
There are several advantages when it comes to making gliders. It must be the most suitable material.
そうだな。現在グライダーの素材としては FRP がメジャーだ。
That's right. At present, FRP is the most common material used to make gliders.
強度はもちろんのこと、プラスチックなので金属で作るよりも軽量化できる。
Of course, metal is strong, but making it from plastic reduces the weight. Yup, it certainly
加
does.
工が簡単でコストも安め。後から補修もできるし、腐食もしない。
It's easy to process, it's cheap, and can be repaired later and does not corrode. Amane agrees with each point with a nod.
ちなみに FRP は意外と身近なものにも使われてるのよ。
By the way, you might be surprised that FRP is also used in some things that are very familiar. What would those be?
車のバンパーや漁船の船体などがそうだな。
The bumpers of cars and the hulls of fishing boats, apparently.
公園のスワンボートとか、あとあれ、ケンタの店先に立ってるカーネルおじさん。
The pedal boats at the park and also the Colonel statue outside the Kentucky shop. Like Kentucky Fried Chicken? As she mentions, the Colonel, Kotori and I nod in agreement. I've touched the Colonel statue many times and also had silly photos taken next to it with my friends from the Cycle Racing Club. So that's FRP, huh?
カーネルおじさんと同じ素材でグライダーもできてるのか。
So the glider is made from the same material as the Colonel. Ah yes, good old Colonel Sanders. And his chicken. Kotori murmured, but I wasn't sure if she was happy because she felt the glider was somehow more familiar than she realized, or because her dream was shattered just a little. How exactly do we make them?
そうね、簡単に説明すると、
Oh yeah, to explain it simply,
まず型を作るでしょ、翼の。それに FRP の素材を塗っていくんだけど、
first you make the shape of the wings, then it's covered with the FRP. But my, that is simple.
まずはこっちの
We begin with this. Agaha opens up one of the boxes that had just arrived and pulls out some sort of cloth.
このガラスマットを敷くのね。これがさっき言ったガラス繊維。
We line it with this glass mat. This is the fiberglass we were just talking about just now.
その上から樹脂を塗り、またガラスマットを敷いて、また塗ってって繰り返すの。
Then the resin is spread on top of it, then another layer of fiberglass is laid out, then we spread more resin and repeat that a few times.
あとはそれが固まるのを待って取り外して。
After that, we wait for it to dry, then take it off, and then it's complete.
まだよ。表面をピカピカに磨いて塗装すれば完成。
No, not yet. Once the surface has been polished and painted, we're finished.
簡単そうね。
It's easy.
今説明したのはあくまでかいつまんでだからね。
She actually said sounds easy, sorry. Sounds easy. Well, that's because this is how it is in a nutshell.
実際はもっと手順が多い。
Actually, there are many more steps.
これだけ大きなものを作るとなると普通のやり方じゃ通用しない場面も出てくる。
When making something this big, there are cases where the usual methods won't work.
まあ一個ずつ進めていきましょう。先輩、設計図見せてもらっていいですか？
Well, let's take it one step at a time. Amane, can you show me the plans? So Agaha takes a look at the... as Agaha takes a look at the plans, she and Amane start discussing something.
なるほど。ここは分割して後から接合するしかなさそうですね。
Agaha is clearly very, very smart, obviously. I see. It looks like we have no choice but to split it here and then join it later.
しかしそうすると重量の問題が出てくる。あまり重くすると
But if we do that, we'll have problems with the weight if it's too heavy. The conversation moves on to things that we don't understand.
先輩、主翼作りなんですけど、私に任せてもらえませんか？
Amane, when it comes to making the main wings, do you think you could leave it to me?
うん、構わないぞ。
Sure, I don't mind.
私がやるよりいいだろう。
It would be better than me making it, right?
ありがとうございます。ハバネさん。
Thank you. Kotori. Kotori's surprised to hear her name called out all of a sudden. I think it's about time for them to start being more friendly towards each other, but...
何かしら。
Yes, what is it?
ハバネさんも手伝ってね。
You can help too, Kotori.
もちろん、そのつもりよ。
Of course, it's what I was planning to do. I'll help too.
葵はいいや。手が足りない時だけで、シミュレータの方を優先して。
We only really need you when when we need an extra pair of hands. You should make the simulator your priority. Yeah, go practice. Kotori gives me an uneasy glance. Hey, now they're gonna have to work together. Hell yeah. I'll leave it to you two then.
おお、任された。
Yeah, leave it to us. With that, Agaha became the one in charge of making the main wings and then got to work on making them. Well, clearly she has a very high understanding of how it all works, so clearly she should be in charge of that. Hell yeah. Progress.
じゃあ教えた通りやってみよっか。
Okay, let's do this the way we were taught.
まず発泡スチロールで型を作る。
First, make the shape using styrofoam.
けどポリエステル樹脂が発泡スチロールを溶かすから先に上からコーティング。
However, the polyester resin melts the styrofoam, so before we use that, it needs to be coated. Until just now, Kotori had been taking Agaha's impromptu FRP course. She had been seriously taking notes and reads them back as they proceed with the work. By the way, for now, it's just practice, so they are trying to make something not related to the main wings.
先にガラスマットを敷いて、その上からポリエステル樹脂をローラーでコロコロと。
We begin with laying out the fiberglass and apply the polyester resin with a roller.
ああ、ダメダメ。もっとしっかり塗り込まないと。
Oh, that's no good. We have to roll it in more firmly.
いや、やってるわよ。
I am.
隅っこの方はハケを使って。樹脂をつけすぎないで。
When you get to the corner, use a brush. Don't apply too much resin.
分かってるわよ。うるさいな。
My God, Kotori, don't be volatile. She's just teaching you how to do it, man.
気泡が残ってると空洞ができて、そこだけ強度が弱くなっちゃう。
If we leave bubbles, it'll cause cavities and it'll create cavities and will cause it to become weaker. They're gonna have another fight again because Kotori can't play nice.
そしたらまた折れちゃうんだから。
If that happens, they'll break again. They're not gonna get along. Amane's like, what do I do? As Amane stood beside me, teaching me about piloting, she seemed to have a hurt expression on her face. You okay, Amane? Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, sorry, she was speaking. She speaks very quietly. Yeah, I'm fine. She answered, but still with that hurt look about her. It seems that Amane has a complex about her lack of dexterity. Amane and I were doing pilot training using the simulator.
旋回中、ラダーの操舵量が少なかったり、タイミングが遅いと打ち滑りを起こす。
When turning, if the steering on the rudder is reduced or the timing is too slow, it'll cause it to slip in.
逆にラダーを使いすぎたり、タイミングが速いと外滑りする。
On the other hand, if you use the rudder too much or the timing is too fast, it can slip out. Slipping in or slipping out are the terms used to refer to diagonal movement of the glider. This is caused when you are trying to turn, but the nose is not pointing in the right direction.
内滑りも外滑りも相対風に対してグライダーの向きがずれるから揚力の低下が発生してしまう。
When slipping in or out, the glider no longer faces in the direction of the relative wind, which causes a reduction in lift. Something bad happens, my brain understood none of that. That means that the glider is moving through the air at a decent speed, even if there is no wind at all. It is still the same as if it were taking wind from the direction in which it is moving. Okay, that makes a little more sense. This is known as yeah, okay, I was making sure I was saying relative wind. So if the glider is moving diagonally, the wind hits it diagonally too. Which way is diagonally? Is that like side to side? Like, I never remember. All I remember is vertical is up and down. That's all I remember. Is like, then someone's like horizontally. I'm like, man, which way is that? That's not helpful. Anyway, I'm just dumb. I realize that. That means that the glider takes the wind from the front. The functions of the aircraft are maximized. When Amane says that there will be a reduction in lift, it's because it cannot take the wind directly from the front.
旋回中はそうでなくても揚力が低下するから、内滑りや外滑りをすると かなりの高度をロスすることに。
Well, I guess that makes sense, right? You don't want to go right into the wind. You're going to get a headwind and it would slow you down. Go with the wind. I guess that makes sense. Easier way of saying all that. Even without that, lift is reduced when turning anyway, so if it slips in or out, you lose a lot of speed.
失礼します。
Excuse me. Oh, look at that. Akari Kumoi, the vice president of the student council, entered the garage.
いやあ、副会長。
Hi, vice president.
こんにちは、望月先輩。それから、
Hello, Mochizuki senpai. I prefer saying that over Senior Mochizuki. Senior Mochizuki is obviously the English translation, but it just sounds so weird. Anyway, Mochizuki senpai also. Hi. Our eyes meet, so I lowered my head in a bow.
こんにちは、水瀬くん。
Hello, Aoi. Akari looks around the garage and nods with approval. Yeah, we're doing things.
ちゃんと活動なさっているようですね。
Looks like you're working hard. Obviously, she's here to make sure we are working. Because, you know, student council.
ああ、まるで部活のようだろうね。
Yep, just like real club activities. She says with pride, because these are club activities after all.
ところで、何か用かい？
Anyway, you need something?
少し様子を見に来たんです。あの時は状況が状況だったので。
I just came to see how things were going. Things weren't going too great last time. As you can see, we're all doing very well.
ええ、見ればわかるわ。
Yes, I can see that. Silence. For some reason, I feel that she has a bit of a sharp tongue when talking to me. Yeah, I get that feeling too. It seems like Vice President Akari Kumoi is looking at me like she's assessing me. She probably is.
確かにお人よしそうな顔してるわね。悪人ではなさそうだけど。
What the hell?
油断ならないわ。
What the hell does that mean? Why is everyone so weird about him? Like Aoi is so nice and like everybody treats him like he's this bad guy, dude. I don't get it. He really does have a trusting face. He doesn't seem like a bad guy, but I'd better be careful. Like, why? Who's spreading this rumor? Like Kotori and Akari and everybody else are like, they all say bad things about him, man. What's up with that? He's so nice. Like, you know, he's like really caring and nice and thoughtful for, you know, compared to a lot of other guys. Like, come on. What is it?
いえ、なんでも。
Nope, it's nothing. Does she have a problem with me? Yes, a lot of people seem to for some reason. Akari heads over to the other two working at the back of the garage.
少し見せてもらってもいいかしら。
No. May I take a look at that?
あかりさん、どうぞどう
Oh,
ぞ。
Akari, go ahead.
こんなもんでどうかしら。
How about this one?
いいんじゃないかな。
Yeah, looks good.
これは FRP ね。何を作っているの？
That's FRP, isn't it? What are you making?
お皿
A
よ。
dish.
お皿
A dish.
練習してるんです。グライダーの翼を作るんですけど、いきなり本番じゃ失敗した時困るんで。
We're practicing. We want to make the wings of a glider, but we can't start doing that straight away because if we mess it up, there'll be problems.
あとはこれが固まるのを待つのよね。そしたら磨いて色を塗って。
Now we have to wait for it to harden, then we polish it, then add the color. Kotori mumbled to herself as she checked her notes.
ハバネさん、使い終わったローラーやハケはすぐ洗い流した方がいいわ。
Kotori, once you finish using the roller and the brush, you should wash them quickly.
樹脂が固まってしまうと使えなくなってしまうか
The
ら。
resin will harden and you won't be able to use them anymore.
そうだった。
Oh, really? Kotori hurriedly goes to wash them. That was a close one. We almost ruined some of the equipment we just got.
それから硬化剤を混ぜた樹脂は温度が高いほど固まりやすいから、容器はなるべく日陰か涼しい場所に置くといいわ。
Also, the resin mixed with curing agent dries more easily at high temperatures, so the container should be put in a cool place in the shade. Kotori wiped her wet hands on her skirt and made a note of Akari's advice.
主翼作りは長丁場になるから、そういうことも考えておかないといけないんだね。
It'll take a long time to make the main wing, so we have to think about things like that. Agaha also looks like she's thinking seriously. After confirming that the other two were doing proper club activities, relieved, she came back over to us.
うまくいっているようですね。
It's going well, isn't it?
あ
Yeah. Amana answered proudly. She looked happy to be praised like that.
ところで、実はもう一つ要件があるんです。
Anyway, there was actually one other reason I came here.
副部長を決めていただけないでしょうか。
Have you decided a person to be second in charge? Second in charge? The other two working at the bench at the garage shop turned their attention this way.
ええ、
Yes.
望月先輩はとても有能な方ですが、
お一人では手が回らない場合もあるでしょう。
Mochizuki-senpai, you are very talented, but there may be times that you can't do all of the work yourself, correct?
そんな時どなたかいていただいた方がこちらとしても助かります。
Sorry, too fast again.
非常に
Twice. Anyway, at those times, it's extremely helpful to have someone like that around. Apart from Amane, everyone made a face that seemed to say, "Oh, I see." It's probably not just Akari, but all the other student council members in the past would also have had trouble with Amane. She's very unique, so sometimes she expresses ideas that differ from the general social norms. That's why she's so lovable. There was also the issue with the club losing its status the other day, and the fact that she keeps repeating this year is a prime example of her uniqueness. She's trying to say that she would like someone to act as a middleman to keep things running smoothly like a manager. But what you really mean is that you need someone to act as a mediator, right? Yeah, that's what that means. From the few days that I have spent with Amane, it seems like she isn't suited to being any sort of mediator. That makes sense. She decides the club's principles and therefore the reason for it to exist, whereas the second in charge is needed to bring everyone together to carry that out.
わかった。決めておくよ。
Okay, I understand. I'll choose someone.
助かります。
That would be helpful. Akari seems relieved as she nodded and then glanced at me.
やはりこの水瀬葵が選ばれてしまうのかしら。
As I thought, she may choose Aoi Minase. Oh, I hope she does, so you have to deal with me all the time.
かなこさんの話では人望はあるようだし、行動力にも富んでいる。ルックスも悪くは。
Sorry, too fast again. According to Kaneko, he's popular, good at taking action, not bad looking.
何を考えているの私は。
Oh, what am I thinking? She thinks he's hot. Ah! Don't get too excited though. Akari is not a romance as far as I know. I'm pretty sure there's only 5, and I think I know all five of them. It's Kotori, it's Amane, it's Ageha, and then it's the 2 twins that we've sort of barely met. And I'm pretty sure that's it. Anyway, she's like, what am I thinking? What were you talking about there?
Eh?
Huh? You were saying something about me and it looked like you were glancing over at me?
見てないわ。自意識過剰よ、水瀬くん。
I wasn't looking at you. You're too self-conscious, Aoi. Yeah, look at your little blush. Ah! Yeah, you weren't looking at me, my ass.
私はソアリング部の活動状況を見ていただけです。
I was just looking at the Soaring Club's activities, that's all. Oh, I see. Sorry. So actually, she wasn't just glancing at me. She was staring.
では、
She was staring.
私はこれで。
Anyway, he's like, so she wasn't just glancing at me, she was staring. Well, that's all for now. Now that she had finished with what she had came to do, Akari left in a hurry. Ah! On the way out, she tripped over a cardboard box.
もう何よこの段ボール。
Jeez, what is this box doing here? Once more, she went to leave.
何あれ
What was that all about?
さあ葵に気があるんじゃない
I don't know. Maybe she has a thing for Aoi. Huh? Oh. What are you saying? Why are you saying that all of a sudden?
だから副会長は葵くんのことをずっと見てたの
The
か。
vice president was looking at you the whole time. That's so true, though. And she does have a thing for him. Haha.
やっぱり見てたの
I thought she was looking.
これはあるね
So there's something going on. No, there isn't really. Come on, let's all get back to work. I tried to get them to drop it. Then Agaha and Kotori returned to their work.
あいつちょっと赤くなってない
He's blushing a little, isn't he?
だね。あかりさん綺麗だもん。
He is. Akari is pretty, though. I can hear you. Amade, what are you going to do about that thing the vice president was talking about just now?
どうしようかな。誰かやりたい人はいるかい
I'm not sure. Is there anyone who wants to do it? Well, I feel like either Aoi Minase would. I mean, obviously our MC would be a good one because the dude is very, very patient and he does a lot of mediating anyway because he's used to dealing with Kotori and everybody else. So he does a lot of that anyway. The other one that wouldn't be bad is Ageha, although I'd be a little surprised if she wanted to. But she is like once she's like into something, she is good at it. But I feel like obviously the MC is the most obvious choice. But Ageha would be pretty good too. I don't think Kotori is a good candidate because she's too hot-headed. So we kind of need someone who's a little bit more good at mediating, and I think our main guy is gonna be the best option. I'm not sure. Is anyone that wants to do it? The 2 other girls look at each other for some reason, then look at me. Me? Yeah, I told you.
なんとなく
That's what it looks like.
なんとなく。
That's what it looks like. You can't decide something like that by saying that's what it looks like. Let's think about this. Amane.
わかった。
Okay, I will. She said as I tried to reach a resolution to the problem that I had brought up. What I mean is that everyone should keep mumbling to themselves to a minimum and concentrate on the task at hand.
もう区部長ずらしてる。
You sound like the second in charge already.
あれは意外にやる気満々だね。
He is surprisingly motivated, isn't he?
葵くんでいいと思うんだけどな。
I think we should choose Aoi. Everyone was muttering to themselves as they got back to work. Yep, he's definitely going to be second in charge then. That makes sense. He's like, he does lots of mediating anyway. Makes total sense.
もう帰らなきゃいけないのか。
It's about time for us to leave.
もっと残って作業できればいいのに。そしたら早く完成して早く飛べるのにな。
I would have liked to have done a bit more work though. The quicker we complete this, the quicker we can fly it. Kotori muttered quietly to herself. The school closes at 6:30, and if you wish to stay longer, you need to submit a notice for extension of club activities. However, I have dorm mother work to do. Kotori has to help me with dinner, so we have to leave at the usual time.
明日は今日試しに作ったお皿の仕上げをしつつ、主翼の型作りに入ろう。
Tomorrow, while continuing with the dish that we were trying out today, we could start making the shape of the main wings.
いよいよ本番ってわけね。
We'll soon be starting the real thing.
焦ってまた折れちゃったら困るから、慎重に作業を進めましょう。
If we rush it, it'll snap again, which will be a big problem. Let's work on it with all due care. Yeah. Today at lunchtime, things still seemed awkward between them, but only after half a day has passed, they've really opened up to each other. Things do seem a lot more stable.
ところで葵、あかりさんのことどう思ってるの？
By the way, Aoi, what do you think of Kotori? Huh?
そうだった。部活終わったら問い詰めなきゃって思ってたのよ。
Oh, that's right. I was thinking before that we should cross-examine you about this once club activities had finished. What's this all about? I don't care. You don't need to cross-examine me.
いいから聞かせな
Well, in
さい
that
よ。
case, tell us about it.
そうだそうだ。
Yeah, tell us. I can't believe these two. Okay, let's make a dash back home. All the boarders are waiting with empty stomachs. I ran as I pushed Kotori's wheelchair.
ああ、待ちなさい。
Hey, wait!
なんでごまかすか。
Why are you covering it up? I thought that somehow these two might just get along really well. Yeah, once they get past they're getting past that awkward stage and it's going a lot more swimmingly. Ever since then, they seem to be getting, yeah, ever since today, they seem to be getting along a lot better. Which is great, obviously. Alright. Sorry, I was drinking. Once we began work on building the main wings, the Soaring Club garage suddenly came to life. Everyone had their own tasks and was able to find an outlet for their increased motivation. Also, this had an effect on things outside the garage, too. For example, at lunchtime one day...
ねえ、このガラスマットとガラスクロスってどう違うの？
Hey, what's the difference between glass mats and glass cloth?
大きさかな。他になんか違いあったっけ？
The size, were there any other differences?
クロスの方が薄いけど繊維が長いから引っ張り強度が強くなるんじゃなかったかしら。
Glass cloth is thinner, but the fibers are longer, so it is stronger when being pulled.
そっかそっ
Oh,
か。
that's right.
マットの方が曲面になじませやすいからややこしい形のものを作るときはこっちなんじゃないの？
The glass mats can easily adapt to curved surfaces, so they're used when making complex shapes.
じゃあ主翼を作るときはガラスクロスの方が適しているのね。
So when making the wings, glass cloth would be more suitable.
大きいし平らだし強くしないといけないから。
It's big and wide and must also be strong.
そういうこと。
That's true. Recently, it's been like this, with Kotori and Agaha having lunch together. Hell yeah, that's nice. I love that. Kotori is always reading an introductory book for FRP, and if there is anything that she doesn't understand, she asks Agaha. When Agaha had free time, she was studying thick technical books about glider production that she had taken from the bookshelf in the garage. She could also read these books while eating her lunch. Because Kotori was spending time with Agaha, the feeling that Kotori wasn't part of the class began to subside, which could be called a welcome byproduct. Hell yeah! Also, like what's happening now, other people in the class can help Kotori, and it looks like she is having more and more chances to talk to people.
おーい、みなせ。女子ばっか見てんなよ。
Hey, Aoi, stop looking at the girls. I'm not! I made a few friends in the class too and started having lunch with them. Why? Wait, hey! Hey! Whoa! Like, why would you turn down your friends of Agaha and Kotori to hang out with some other dudes? Come on, man. Like, I wouldn't. Like, hey, be friendly with them, but I wouldn't opt to have lunch over my my good friends. These guys are I'm friends with them, but not best friends. You know what I mean? What's up with that? I disagree. Anyway, sorry. I got all triggered. I was like, hey, what the hell? You should be, like, you know, if you guys are having fun together, you should be spending your time with your best friends. You know what I mean? Anyway, whatever. I wonder what they're talking about. You would know if you went over there and had lunch with them every day. They're in your class. How could you not? Anyway, sorry. I'm still triggered. As far as building the main wings goes, I'm just a helper, so that doesn't really have much to do with me, but I'm just interested. Well, I mean, I want to talk to them about the glider, too. Well, you should have lunch with them. What's your problem?
しかしお前すごいよな
But you're a bit of a surprise, though, aren't you? Why is that?
転校してきていきなりあのハバネさんと仲良くなっちゃってさ望月先輩ともお近づきになったんだろ
Since you transferred here, you suddenly started getting along really well with Kotori, and you're getting close to Mochizuki-senpai, too, aren't you? It's all just by chance. Kotori, who used to have a stormy relationship with the girls, seemed to have been treated differently by the boys, who found her a bit unapproachable, but showed a certain kind of respect when they spoke of her. Maybe because of her legs, or perhaps because she's pretty, but mainly because she has that kind of don't talk to me aura about her.
たまたまね
Just by chance, huh? Since I became the dorm mother, maybe I've been speaking about her in a similar way. The fact that I settled into the class so quickly was all thanks to Ageha.
言っとくがな俺たちはそれも羨ましいんだ
I
よ
gotta tell you this, we all envy you because of that too.
なんだよ幼馴染って
What do you mean you two were childhood friends? Yeah, it's true, but... This is kind of off topic, but it seems like Ageha is popular with the boys. Thanks to that, some of the boys are a little jealous and envy me. If the situation were reversed, I might be envious of them.
ああ俺もソアリング部に入ろっかな
Yeah, I might join the soaring club too. That's too bad, we already have too many members.
嘘つけなんだよ独り占めかよチキショ
You're lying, you can't hog all the girls to yourself, dude. The hell he can't! He certainly could put his mind to it. He certainly could give it the old college try. In one corner of the classroom, Ageha and the others were getting excited talking about gliders, while the other boys and I were enthusiastically talking about typical high school boy stuff. You know, girls, basically. Speaking of which, when I was at the all-boys school, these kinds of conversations were a lot less enjoyable, so I'm glad I transferred after all. Yeah, because there were no girls. So that's a lot. It's a lot more mystical, you know. There's no specifics. There's no examples going on. This is how it usually is each day. After school, we go to the garage and get engrossed in the work we have to do. Ageha, who is also in the robot club, goes there on some days, but once she's finished there, she comes to the Soaring Club garage to show her face. Also on those days, she comes to check Kotori's work and gives instructions like, "That's no good," or "Looks great," and so on. Then finally, a few days ago... Hell yeah.
そっとよそーっと剥がしてね
Gently, peel it off gently. Okay. Gulp. Wow. Alright, we got it off. Look, see? Kotori, having peeled the FRP plate from the mold, happily held it out to show us. Alright. You did it. Whew. Without thinking, we all punched the air with a sense of victory. The smooth surface had a glossy shine to it, as the light in the dim... I mean, it feels a little redundant, but that is the sentence. As a glossy shine to it as the light in the dim light of the garage shone across it. This 200 by 40 centimeter plate was one of the pieces that would make the main wing. The main wings are 8 meters long. There is a very high risk with making the whole thing in one piece, so they are made in separate pieces that are joined later. That makes sense. I mean, it'd be a lot easier, like, space-wise for one. Anyway, hey, look at this, it's really smooth.
本当だ私のとはえらい違いだな
So it is, it's a lot different than when I made it. But won't the part where it's connected become weaker?
問題ないわ接合部は厚く積層するしむしろ強度は強くなるはずよ
It's no problem. The place where it joins is layered more thickly and is in fact even stronger.
これを磨いて色を塗るのね
Now we polish it and add the color, right?
全部できて接合したらね
Once they're all finished, we can connect them.
完成はまだまだ先か
You're like, great, now just make it like 200 more times. So it'll still be a while before it's complete then. This plate served to prove if the manufacturing process works or not, and was made more as an experiment. Now, 10 more pieces, the same as this one, will be made. It's so smooth already, does it really need to be polished?
表面に理系剤が付着してるからそれをきれいに剥がしてやらないと
塗装のノリが悪くなるのよ。
Because there is a releasing agent on the surface, if we don't clean it off, the paint won't adhere to it properly. As Agaha explains, she checks all over the surface of the plate.
上出来。
Yeah, this is really well made.
当たり前よ。何せこの私があんなに頑張ったんだもん。
Of course. Anyhow, I put a lot of effort into this.
本当に綺麗にできてるな。いいな。
It is really well made. Looks great. As we talked amongst ourselves and stood before the first result of our work, we all kind of felt a sense of excitement and unity. Aw, that's adorable. Although it was slow, the production was proceeding smoothly. Nice. Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Sorry, no, Sunday. From tomorrow, our end-of-term test will begin, so club activities have been stopped for the time being. If we secretly work on club activities and get found out, it could be problematic for us, so we must stick firmly to the rules. Which is why we are only meeting at the garage on Sunday. You know, this is one of the reasons why I never joined a club, like in high school. One of the reasons, especially long term, is because, like, once you're in a club, like, I mean, obviously it's different, like, I don't know, it's different in American high schools versus Japanese ones, I'm sure. But clubs, I feel like, even in America, even in general, are, like, they're a little more low-key. Like, I don't feel like they're so intense, but even so, like, I didn't want to divert any time into any club over doing whatever I was going to do at home. You know what I mean? So that's part of the problem. Anyway, the cicadas are singing loudly, which is normal for this time of year. It's already the peak of summer. Once the end-of-term exams are over, our long-awaited summer holiday can begin. Anyway, I just wanted to get off that screen. The cicadas were killing me.
Aoi-kun.
Hey, Amane. Hey, Aoi. Is that you, Amane? Hello, Amane. Oh my god, she's so gorgeous, dude. Can't even take it. On my way to the school, I hear Amane calling from behind.
珍しいな。一人か？
Is this as unusual? Are you by yourself? I had some dorm mother work to do. The others couldn't wait, so they left without me. Early this morning, Agaha had come to the dorm and had left with Kotori. Those two have been getting along recently. Seems like they finally opened up to each other.
そういえば、二人でいる時も会話が弾んでいるみたいだ。
You're right. When it's just the two of them, the conversation seems really lively. Yeah, in what way? They must be talking about the glider.
主に君が話題の中心だ
They
ね。
mostly talk about you. Yes, they do. Really? I wonder what kind of rumors they've been making up. I could somehow imagine it, and it would definitely be something stupid.
知りたいか？
Do you want to know? Nah, it's okay. Just knowing that those two are getting along is enough. Besides... My dude, he knows. He's like, besides, I can't focus with their standing so nearby anyway.
どうかしたか？
What is it? Well, you're not in your uniform today, Amane. I think this is the first time I've seen you like this.
ああ、これか。昨日久しぶりに家に帰ったからな。
Oh, you mean this.
父の仕事の手伝いをしてきた。
Sorry, she wasn't done yet. Oh, you mean this. Yesterday I went back home for the first time in ages. I went to go and help my dad with his job. Your dad's job? What kind of job does he do?
発明家
He's
だ。
an inventor. An inventor? For a moment, I imagine a middle-aged man with a big, thick glasses and a white coat, talking in a strange voice while pouring chemicals into a test tube followed by a big explosion. It's not like in the days of Edison. Now it has become a proper job title. Wait a sec. She's said she's been home for the first time in a while, so does that mean she usually lives alone? I can't help but wondering, but it seems that there could be some family issues, so it's kind of hard to ask.
小鳥たちじゃないが、最近私も楽しい。
It's not just Kotori and Agaha. I've been having fun too. What do you mean?
部活だ
With the
よ。
club.
みんなすごい。アゲハには作る才能があるな。起点が利くし、知識も豊富だ。
Everyone's so great. Agaha is a genius when it comes to making things. She's quick-witted and has an abundance of knowledge.
小鳥は根気があるし、熱心だ。誰よりも飛びたいって思っている。
Kotori is patient and keen. I think she wants to fly more than anyone.
葵くんはあの子らをうまくまとめてくれている。シミュレータではもう私より上手に飛べるしな。
Aoi, you do a good job of bringing those two together. You're already better than me when it comes to the simulator. If they heard you say that about them, they'd be really happy.
そうだろうか。
You think so? Yeah, I guarantee it. The reason why everyone can throw themselves into this so fully without hesitation is because someone amazing like Amane is there. Amane brushes back her long hair and smiles as if reminiscing about something.
君たちが来てからいつも賑やかだ。
Since you guys came, the place is always bustling with activity.
イスカがいた頃に戻ったみたい。
It's like Isuka's come back. There's that name, Isuka, again. The person who wrote the flight log. What sort of person was she? And also, why does she always talk about her in the past tense? That's what I was just thinking.
早くテストフライトがしたい
Oh,
な。
I want to do another test flight soon. Hell yeah, dude. Things are like really kicking off now. Amane looks far away to a big column of cloud as if she can hardly wait. Hell yeah. Things are like really kicking off, man. What's up?
ジース。
What's up?
ういっす。
What's up? Are you here by yourself, Kotori? I entered the garage with Amane to see Kotori by herself, camped in front of the air conditioner looking bored.
姫木さんならロボット部の子に呼ばれて出てったわよ。
If you're looking for Ageha, she was called away by one of the members of the Robot Club. Robot Club? Recently, Ageha has been coming by the Soaring Club more often than the Robot Club. Could it be that the reason why that was why they called for her?
呼びに来た子が深刻そうな顔してたわ。
The person who came to get her had a really serious look on their face, said Kotori lazily. Her face also seemed to say, I don't even want to think about it. At that moment, Ageha came back.
ただいま
Hi, I'm back. Hey, Ageha, did you get called away by the Robot Club?
ああ、うん。
Yeah, What happened?
ちょっと困ったことになってね。本当は喜ぶべきことなんだけど。
There was a bit of a problem. I should be happy about it. I should be happy about it, though.
あ、でも先輩たちの気持ち考えるとそうもいかないか。
Well, I also have to think about how the seniors feel. What happened?
しばらくの間、ロボット部に専念しなきゃならなくなった。
I have to focus on the Robot Club for a little while.
それどういうこと？
What's that supposed to mean?
先輩、少しの間お休みさせていただくことってできますか？
Amane, just for a little while, could you let me take a break from the club?
それはいいが。
That's okay, but you say a little while, but when will that be until?
早ければ夏休み入ってすぐだけど、遅いとお盆くらいまでかな。
Man, tell the Robot Club to shove it. Just, like, put it behind you, man. Join the real club. Like, fully. Until the start of the summer holidays at the earliest, at the latest, up until the Obon Festival. That's about halfway through the summer holiday.
ロボットコンクールの予選だね。
It's the qualifying round for the robot contest, isn't it? Ageha nods.
私ら下級生チームは補欠だから出場する予定はなかったんですけど。
The underclassmen team that I'm a member of was just a reserve team, and there were no plans for us to enter, but
先輩チームのロボットに問題があったらしくて、今からじゃ間に合わないから急遽繰り上げってことになっちゃったんです。
it seems that there was a problem with the seniors' robot and they won't be ready in time. So all of a sudden, it's been decided that we will enter. The robot club is really popular. There are many members and they're divided into several teams to produce a robot that meets the regulations for this year's contest. According to Ageha, while helping the seniors with their work, the juniors also practice by making their own robots. However, that's only for practice, and helping the seniors is the priority. It seems that usually you can't complete it if there isn't enough time, but this year Ageha has been really fired up, and she said that they could do something about it. When the problem occurred with the seniors' robot and were no longer able to enter the contest, it was decided that Ageha's team would enter.
じゃあ主翼作りはどうなるのよ。
So what about making the main wings?
直接作業してる時間はないかな。
I won't have time to work on it directly.
ロボット部終わってから顔出すから作業はハバネさんにお願いできないかな。
I'll come around once I'm done with Robot Club, so would I be able to ask you to do it, Kotori?
無理よ、私一人じゃ。
No way, I'm all by myself. I'll help. If it means that the main wings can't be completed, now is not the time for me to be doing pilot training.
お願い。
Yeah, please.
ほんとごめんね。それじゃあ私またすぐ行かなきゃだから。
I'm really sorry. Well then, I have to head back now. Ageha made her apologies and left the garage. There was an awkward silence in the garage.
何よあの子、勝手なことばっか言って。
What is it with her? She just says whatever she likes. That's not how it was. She was a member of the Robot Club to begin with.
でもせっかくいい感じだったのに。
But things were going so well. Amane, while Ageha is away, can I help Kotori?
あ
Yeah. Amane?
うんそれでいいと思うそうしよう
No, I think that'll be okay. Let's do that. Uh-oh. Amane seemed kind of annoyed, then went back to her usual spot, sitting in front of the drawing board, and after that, she didn't say anything. Yikes. Of course, Amane is very internal anyway, so it's like, but still, like, she did seem really off. Man, stupid robot club, ruining everything. On the first day of the exams at the end of the first term, the sunshine that we'd had for the last few days changed, quite unbelievably, into really heavy rain. This would be my first exam since I'd come to this school. Man, time-wise, I've got to end the episode. But, like, plot is starting to happen now. Like, we're out of the stage setting and we're getting into good stuff. Dang it. I've never been against studying, so I was quite confident, but when it came to the specialist subjects, I struggled because I didn't even know what kind of questions would come up.
はい終了シャーペン OK
Okay, time's up. Put down your pencils. The answer sheets were collected. That's the end of today's exams.
寄り道せずまっすぐ帰れよ明日も試験はあるんだからな
Go straight home without taking any detours. You have exams tomorrow too. Like, that's another thing that seems very, very different. Like, at least I don't know, obviously, how schools work in Japan, but like this type of thing, like just go home, no detours, or we can't be out in our school uniforms or whatever, like after school. Like, there seems like a lot of like rules. Like, school seems way more prevalent in lives, like in general when you're young. Whereas here, like, you know, yes, they feel like you feel like you're locked away in prison, like as long as you're in school, and then they give you another X amount of hours of homework because you weren't in school for whatever 7 or 8 hours already that day. And and it's a really stupid system, but they don't have any authority to tell you to not do something. You know what I mean? Like, they give you homework, which is a load, which is a load. But then otherwise, like, for the most schools, like public schools don't have uniforms. Like, they have things they outlaw because they're stupid. But they like, I don't know, but like they couldn't tell you like don't go and do anything. Like, I mean, like even if they did, no one would listen. So I don't know. It's obviously just weird how things work there. Anyway, whatever. That's what the teacher said. But I brought my lunchbox. But I had brought my lunchbox.
アゲハどうだった
How'd you find it, Agaha?
まあまあかな
Well, it was okay.
私ダメだった明日の英語に全てを託すわ
I found it really tough. I'm betting it all on tomorrow's English exam.
私はその英語がダメだから
I'm no good at English. As always, Agaha was chatting with our classmates and taking her bag with her, leaving the classroom with them. Agaha. I followed her out into the hallway and called out to her. Hmm? You going home?
ちょっと用事あるんだ
Yeah, there's something I need to do.
葵は
What about you? Sorry, I spoke too fast, but it still worked out. I'm gonna swing by the garage.
そう
I see. Agaha, are you...
アゲハ何してんの
Agaha, what are you doing?
ごめん先行ってて
Sorry, you go ahead.
何
What is it, Aoi? No, nothing. See ya. Man, I hate when they don't finish their sentence and they just trail off. Like, damn it. Just say what you were gonna say. Now I don't know.
おお明日もテスト頑張るぜ
Okay, I'll do my best in tomorrow's exam. She said cheerfully, then waved her colorful orange umbrella around as she chased after her friends.
一緒に帰らないのか
Aren't
よ
you going with her? Whoa, it's Mabo. It doesn't matter, does it, whether we leave together or not?
よくねえよお前ら最近ずっと一緒だったじゃねえか気持ち悪いくらいベッタベタしてよ
Yes, it does matter. Lately, you guys have been so together that you've been together all the time. You're getting so clingy, it almost makes me sick. Oh, screw you, dude. Screw you. We're not getting clingy.
してましたなんとか部がどうとかって言ってさ
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You said something about the something or other club, didn't you? What are you talking about? The fact that you can't join us?
はあ誰がお前らなんかとピッピ
Who'd want to hang out with you guys? Don't spit in the hallway.
だいたいおかしいと思ってたんだ
I
よ
thought there was something strange going on.
だってお前昔アゲハに告白して振られただろ
In the past, you told Agaha you liked her, but she turned you down, didn't she? Silence. Without realizing, I kind of stiffen up. How do you know about that?
アゲハから聞い
Heard about
た
it from Agaha. I can't believe it.
なのにまたつるんだりして恋愛経験豊富な俺に言わせりゃそれは不自然ってもん
Oh,
だ
apparently we had feelings in the past? Yikes. I mean, obviously a minimum of 5 years ago, so that means that they would have definitely been too young to like, it would have been too young to really mean anything, but like still, interesting. Despite that, you're hanging out again. If you were to ask someone who's experienced in romance like me, I would say it was definitely strange. I think you're misunderstanding the situation that was back when we were kids. That's what I was thinking. Uh-oh. Kotori, wait. Kotori, how long have you been there?
知らない何も聞いてない
I don't know, I haven't been listening. Oh god. Dang it, that makes it worse. She denied it in a really obvious way, then zoomed off down the hallway at top speed in her wheelchair. Darn it, Mabo, you ruined everything. Mabo, you bonehead.
じゃあな
So long. Hey, hold it. He skips halfway as I try to retaliate. Skips away, not halfway. Man, idiot! He just ruined everything. He made things so much more complicated. Hey, Kotori. Oh, man.
私何にも聞いてないから聞いてないことについて聞かれても
I...
答えようがないから
Sorry, too fast again. I didn't hear anything. Even if you asked me about what it was that I didn't hear, I wouldn't be able to answer. Is that so? Going against what our teacher had said, Kotori and I headed straight to the Soaring Club garage. Good for you two, having, you know, doing what you wanted. Good for you. Going against the grain. Don't be a sheep. Absolutely. Because of the rain had been falling since this morning, the inside of the garage was really humid. Sitting down in front of the air conditioner, opening up the textbooks for the subjects of tomorrow's exams, we ate our lunch. Damn you, Mabo. The thing that Mabo had let slip out just now really was something that happened when we were just kids. See, that's what I was just saying. And I think that Agaha has probably forgotten about it. Maybe. Even if she did remember, there are many other embarrassing or uncomfortable memories. At that time, we didn't really understand the differences between boys and girls, and you could say that they were youthful indiscretions. I mean, like I said, that they were too young to know for it to really mean anything, you know? Which is why I also don't think it has any special meaning. Amane, how was the exam? Oh, I didn't take it. Huh? Oh, that's right. She deliberately keeps dropping credits. Also, if she took the test like everyone else, she's so clever that she would be top of the class without even trying. And by the way, strangely, Amane isn't hungry today, so it seems that the lunchbox I brought for her will have to go to waste. I'll put it in the fridge so she can eat it later when she gets hungry. Aoi? Yes? It's about Ageha. What's this? I thought you weren't listening. Kotori ignores my sarcasm as she continues.
さっき廊下で話してたでしょあの子何か言ってた
You were talking with her in the hallway. What was she saying? Oh, nothing really. She said she had to do something and went home.
姫木さん私たちのこと避けてないここにも来ないし
Don't you think that Agaha's avoiding us? She's not coming here. She's not coming here either. Since Agaha said that she was going to focus on the robot club, she hasn't come to the garage once. Well, club activities are suspended during the exams. Aren't we the ones who are being strange for coming here?
そうかしら
Perhaps.
ねえやっぱりあの話
Hey, I guess that thing... Yeah. Ooh, flashback. The truth is, it was on my mind, so I asked someone I knew in the robot club about it. I asked about what the situation was on that day that Agaha was called for. Ooh, he's fact-checking her. Uh-oh. At the time, Agaha said it was decided that her team would enter the contest, but she had kind of a sad look about her. I was about to say, I'm thinking there's something else. This doesn't feel right, dude. I wonder if something else was said to her. Probably. Could it be that because she's in two clubs at the same time, she's losing her position? Probably. That's what I was worried about, so I asked about it, and apparently there hasn't been any complaints from the other club members. Interesting. They said that there weren't many people in the robot club who are as enthusiastic as her. Anyway, the advisor to the robot club is Mr. Tabioka? Oh, I wonder if he had something to do with it. Who I'd heard rumors about when we were looking for members for our club. He has a grudge against Amane, and it's said that he sees the Soaring Club as enemies. Yikes. It's not clear whether the rumors themselves are credible or not, but it seems that this is what Mr. Tabioka said to Agaha when she was called for that day. We do not allow other members to hold positions in other clubs. You must quit one of them. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. That seems more credible.
このまま来なくなっちゃうかもね
And then she stopped coming. It's weird to me that she didn't say anything. That's the weirder part to me. Clatter. Amane, who was staring at the plans, dropped her pen. Sorry. Yikes, dude. Apologizing to no one in particular, she picks up the pen. Amane has also been acting a little strange since Agaha stopped coming. She's been fidgeting and seems restless. Agaha said it would be until the last qualifiers for the robot contest. It sucks that the production of the main wings has been slowed down, but let's wait until then.
でももしやめる気な
But
ら
if she's really thinking about quitting...
早いとこ行ってほしいわねまた部員探さないといけないんだから
I'd want her to tell us soon. That's because we'll have to search for another member. While she slowly poked at her omelet, Kotori voiced her complaints. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point.
お前らここで何してる
Uh-oh. What are you doing here? Suddenly, a man's deep voice called out. Oh, God, it's him. Surprised, we turned to look at the door and saw a middle-aged man standing here. From the open door, we hear the sound of the rain hitting the ground, and we feel the humidity coming inside. I know, it's him. Speak of the devil, it's the Robot Club advisor, Mr. Kujira Tabioka. Oh, man.
今は試験中だぞ 部活動は禁止だって知らんの
We're in the middle of the exams. Don't you know the club activities are forbidden? They're not. They just happen to be where their club hangs out.
知ってます。だから部活してたわけじゃありま
Oh
せん。
man, Kotori's not taking any of his crap either. We know. That's why we're not doing club activities.
何
What did you say? What did you say? Get him! Get him! Get him, Kotori! Yes! Throw the sass! Give him all the sass! Hey, don't get sassy with him like that.
だってムカつく
But he's
の
really
に
irritating. I know, but give it to him, Kotori. Yes! We're eating our lunch and studying for tomorrow's exams. Tabioka stares straight at me. He looks like he doesn't believe what students say one little bit. Well, I don't really care what the old man thinks. But I'm not lying. I've just transferred here, so there are many things I don't know in the specialist subjects, so Mochizuki-senpai was teaching me. Kotori is also not too great with those specialist subjects. So the fact that we're here studying for our exams is a valid reason. Of course, having air conditioning is another reason.
お前らかソアリング部の新入部員って
So, you the new members of the Soaring Club? He seems to have been convinced by what I said, but now he's changed the question to something else he can attack us with because this guy is an old jerk boomer. Anyway.
悪いことは言わんこんな部やめておけ
Wow, yeah, here, I told you this is the real reason he's here. Don't take this the wrong way, but you must give up on this sort of club. Oh my god, dude.
なんですっ
What are you talking about?
何かに打ち込みたいならロボット部に入れ
If you
ば
want to be involved in something, you should join the robot club. I'm sure. Oh, I hate this guy, dude. Sir, why do you have to say something like that? While trying to hold back Kotori, without thinking, I answered back angrily. I was pretty annoyed, though.
生徒を指導するのが教師の務めだ姫木にもそう言っておいた
It is a teacher's duty to guide the students. I said the same thing to Miss Himegi. I'm sure you did.
やっぱりあいつ姫木さんを脅したの
As I thought, he threatened Ageha,
許せない
and I won't forgive him for this. Hold it, calm down. Kotori looked like she was gonna charge her wheelchair into Mr. Tabioka, so as you would expect, I hold her back. So what'd you say? What'd she say?
しばらく考えると言ってたなまあよほどのバカじゃない限り答えは一つ
Oh my god! This guy's an asshole! That she would think about it for a while. Well, provided that she isn't a complete idiot, there's only one answer.
これでもあいつには目をかけてるんだうちの部員の中じゃ優秀な方だからな
Even so, I'm keeping an eye on her. Among the members of our club, she is outstanding.
あの子はやめたりしないわだってあんなに一生懸命頑張ってたんだも
She
の
won't quit. She's been working hard on this.
だからだどうせ真剣に打ち込むなら将来性がある方がいい
That's exactly why. If you're gonna get seriously involved in something, it's better to choose something that has a future.
こんなどこも目指してないようなクラブじゃなくな
That is to say that she should not choose a club that has no goals like this one. We have no goals? We do have goals. We have clear objectives. Yeah. As we answer back, Mr. Tabioka scoffs at us. We don't take part in competitions, we don't make announcements of our work, so to a teacher like him, maybe it looks like we're just doing this for fun.
それになもうやるだけ無駄なんだ
Also, it's useless for you to even try.
ソアリング部はこの夏で廃部
The
だ
Soaring Club will have its status repealed this summer.
そうだったな
Isn't that right, Mochizuki?
それは部員が私一人だったからではないでしょうか
Wasn't that if I was the only member?
今はこの通り葵くんや小鳥たちがいますので
Now, as you can see, Aoi and Kotori are here too.
約束は約
A
束
promise is a promise. As Amane tries to explain calmly without getting angry, Mr. Tabioka forcefully interrupts her. Then,
必ず守っても
I will have you keep that promise. He states, as if reminding her of something, then storms out of the garage.
どういうことなのあまね
What's this all about, Amane? Is it true that the club will lose its status? Once Tabioka had left, we both went over to Amane.
飛岡先生が約束の中身を誤解しているんじゃないかな
Mr. Tabioka has misunderstood the main point of the promise.
廃部というのは約束を果たした結果生じる副産物であって
Having the club close would be more like a side effect of keeping the promise.
なんなのその約束って
What is this promise?
私はこの夏で引退する
I'm
んだ
leaving this summer. Huh? Leaving? Well, I mean, it was only a matter of time. She's getting old, dude. She should have been out of high school so long ago. We were stunned. Stunned to hear about this so suddenly.
あまねちゃんってこの先もずっとここにいるんじゃなかったの
But Amane, weren't you going to stay here for a long, long time to come? That's what I thought too. I thought she was going to stay here till even after we leave.
私は本来留年できる年数を過ぎて学校に留まっている。学校側からの特別な許可を得てのことだ。
I've already repeated this year more times than the school allows. It's because I received special permission from the school.
その代わりにいくつかの約束を交わした。
Because of this, several promises were made.
その一つが今年の夏で部活を引退し、春には卒業するというものだ。
The first is that I would quit club activities this summer and then graduate the following spring.
引退して卒業。
Quit, then graduate? What about the club being closed?
さっきも言った通り、そんな約束はしていない。飛岡先生の思い違いだ。
Just as I just said, that wasn't part of the promise. That's Mr. Tapioca's misunderstanding.
この何年かずっと一人でやってきた。新しい部員が入ることもなく。
For years I've been doing this by myself. No new members joined.
だから学校側は私の引退と同時にソアリング部を廃部にするつもりでいたんだ。
That's why the school was planning to close the soaring club the same year that I leave. Hearing about these things all of a sudden left me slightly confused. Is that okay for you to quit?
いいも悪いもない。学校側が許してくれないだろうし、これは父との約束でもあるんだ。
It's not a question of whether or not it's okay. The school won't allow it, and I also made a promise to my father. The teachers, her father, all these promises she's made with adults. I don't know what all of those people were thinking when they made those promises. But I do know that there are things that they will be lost because of them.
だからそれまでに。
That's why, before then, Amane picked up the photo frame that was placed on her desk. The frame that was once empty now had the beautiful photograph of the passage of clouds and the morning sun placed inside.
それまでにここへ行きたいんだ。
Before then, I want to go to this place. Amane stared at the photograph as if she were looking for something far, far away.
みんなが来てくれて、もしかしたらって思い始めてた。
Since you came, I started to think that just maybe.
今度こそ届くかもしれない。
This time, I would be able to reach it. Just maybe. This time. Thinking of all the many months that Amane had spent in this garage, her words felt so full of meaning. Listening to her words beside me, Kotori was quietly biting her lip. Frickin' yikes, dude! Whoa! That old jerk teacher. And then threatening Himegi.
兄、どうしたの？
Aoi, what's up? Is Agaha here?
あーちゃんならコンビニに行くって出てったよ。
If it's Agaha you're after, she went to the convenience store. I was thinking Agaha. For some reason, I went to her last name because I couldn't remember her first name. Anyway. Yeah, okay, thanks.
携帯にかけてみ
Why
れ
don't
ば？
you call her cell? No, it's okay. I want to speak to her face to face. This is important. This is important, woman. I need to end the episode forever ago, but like, I'm waiting till a good stopping place.
ふひひ。テスト勉強頑張ってる自分にご褒美あげないとね。
Woman, this is the part where you and me have a chat. I have to give myself a little reward for studying so hard.
ご褒美といえば、ハーゲンダッチのクッキー&クリーム。
By treat, I mean Haagen-Dazs cookies and cream.
いただきます。
Here I go. You look like you're enjoying that. She's like, oh God! She let down her guard as she opened her mouth wide to stuff ice cream into it. Agaha choked from the force of spitting it out.
葵、いきなり声かけないでよ。
Aoi, don't scare me like that. Sorry, you should eat it when you get home.
溶けちゃうじゃん。それに、こうやって外で食べるのが贅沢なんだよ。
It'll melt.
葵も一口食べる。
Sorry, too fast again. It'll melt. Also, it's more of a luxury to eat it outside like this. You want a spoonful, Aoi? Okay, I'll have a little.
はーい。あー。
Okay, say ah. Stop talking like that, will ya? It's embarrassing. I say while putting the spoon that Agaha was holding out into my mouth. Oh, that's nice. What flavor is this?
クッキー&クリーム&アゲハちゃん関節キス味。
Cookies and cream and Agaha indirect kiss flavor. Nice. Though there are some unneeded things mixed in, but it tastes good. I'll try buying some of this next time.
少しは照れやがれ。これだから幼馴染ってやつ
You can
は。
at least act a little embarrassed. This is because we're childhood friends, isn't it? When we were kids, it was normal for us to pass juice boxes around. Now it's more embarrassing to act shy about sharing something like ice cream. In other words, I pretend not to be shy about it.
んで、あんた何してんのこんなとこで。
So what are you doing here? Don't you...
明日の試験勉強やんなくていいの？
Sorry, too fast again. So what are you doing here? Don't you need to study for tomorrow's exam? I heard from Hotaru that you'd be here.
わざわざうち行ったんだ。
You went all the way to my house? You mind if I have a bit more? Sure, go ahead. It's like, yeah, we need to chat, all right? We need to chat. The rain had been falling since this morning and had finally stopped in the evening, and the stars shone beautifully in the night sky. It was humid, but the breeze was cool. We walked along with the empty lakeside promenade, and I changed to another topic. I heard from someone in the robot club. Mr. Tapioca said something to you, didn't he?
ああ、その話か。
Oh, you mean that.
別に掛け持ちが校則で禁止されてるわけでもなし。
It's nothing.
気にすることないと思うよ。
Too fast again, sorry. It's nothing. The school doesn't prohibit being a member of 2 clubs at the same time. I don't think it's anything to worry about. But even so, It said that Tapioca is a pretty powerful speaker, even amongst the teachers. No doubt about it, being in his sights is definitely not good.
まあでもちょっと誤算はあったかな。
Well, I misjudged things a little.
ソアリング部には天音先輩がいるから、私は遠巻きに見ながらちょっとお手伝いするだけで大丈夫なんじゃないかなって思ってたんだよね。
Amane is in the soaring club, and I thought it would be okay to sit back and watch, helping out just a little. So that's why you thought it would be alright to be in both clubs? Agaha nods.
まさかね。あそこまで不器用とは。そんな天音先輩もなんか可愛くて好きだけど。
But I never thought she'd be that clumsy. Also, Amane is kinda cute, so I like her. Mr. Tapioca is the advisor of the robot club, right? If you don't quit the soaring club, he'll force you to leave the robot club, won't he?
やっぱそうなっちゃうのかな。困るな。どっちか選べって言われてもさ。
I guess that's how things will turn out. What a predicament. He told me to choose one or the other. Agaha. Please don't quit.
どっち
Which
を
one? The soaring club.
だよね。
Oh, right. Agaha seemed troubled by me bringing this up. Then, holding onto the railing of the promenade, I leaned towards the lake. Now that the rain had stopped, countless stars are projected on the calm surface of the lake.
ねえ、覚えてる？秘密基地か。
Hey, do you remember our secret base? Huh? Oh, I remember. When I lived here before, outside Kazami Shopping Street, in an alley that was hard for people to see down, was a building that had been abandoned. We made it our secret base, and we would all gather there and play.
あれ楽しかったよね。
That was fun, wasn't it? Yeah, we took all sorts of toys there, and we decided to remodel the place. I think that playing secret bases is something that almost everyone must have done as a kid. But we were proud of our base because it was much bigger and better. Well, anyway, it was cool. One day, some bad kids from the next neighborhood came to take it away from us, and we all fought together to ward them off, and various other things happened there. Speaking of which, what happened to that abandoned building?
ウィンディ風が浦の下敷き。
Windy Kazagura was built on top of it. So that means it was swallowed in the first wave of redevelopment. What about it?
似てるんだよね。ソアリング部のガレージの雰囲気が。
It's similar, isn't it? The atmosphere in the Soaring Club's garage. It is, now that you mention it. At the back of the school grounds, where it stands like it's been forgotten by everyone, and inside, Amane and the other Soaring Club members from years gone by redecorated it as they saw fit. It's a jumble of things that no one understands and looks so chaotic, but you really feel a presence of the people who have been there.
だからかな。最近やたらと楽しいんだよ
That's why
ね。
it's been so much fun lately.
楽しすぎてついうっかり夢中になっちゃうく
It's
らい
been。too much fun, so much that I completely lost myself in it.
でもロボット部も好きで入ったんだし、今回コンクールに出られるのはすごく嬉しいことなんだよ。
But I joined the robot club because I enjoy it, and I'm really happy to enter the contest. Yeah. I heard that Agaha has inspired the juniors who lacked motivation and had helped their construction of their robot to proceed. She has a responsibility to them too.
出られなくなった先輩たちの分もやれるだけのことはしておきたい。
I also want to do what I can for the sake of the seniors who are no longer able to enter.
それが私のけじめってやつか
That's my
な。
way of taking responsibility. So you're...
うん。コンクールが終わったらやめるつも
Yep,
り。
I'm gonna quit after the contest. Is that okay for you to do it? Is that okay for you to do that? That's what, and if this is what she wants, and it might sound a little strange to say this, but it looks like she still had some kind of lingering attachment.
いいのいいの。ロボット作るのは楽しかったけ
It's
ど、
fine. I enjoyed making robots, though.
今はグライダーが楽しくてしょうがないんだ
But
な。
I can't help it if I enjoy making gliders too, though.
天音先輩と一緒にものづくりができるのはすごい刺激だし。
Being able to make things alongside Amane really motivates me. You think so?
そうだよ。あんたももっと感激しなさい。
Yeah, I do. You should be a little more impressed. Somehow it would seem like the most impact of the first time we met was so strong that rather than thinking of her as a great person, the impression of her being an interesting person wins in the end. The truth is, there's something else. This is what I really wanted to talk about. It looks like Amane's gonna quit this summer.
何それ
What? Today at lunchtime, Mr. Tabioka came to the garage. Then, I tell Agaha everything that happened at the garage at lunchtime. Our exchange with Mr. Tabioka, and about the promise with Amane.
天音先輩が引退
Amane's gonna quit.
だって超留年してずっと続けてきたんだよ。これからだってきっと
But she's been the super repeat student for ages. From now on, I thought She said it was a promise to the teachers. Amane's planning to quit this summer.
そんな
But if you don't come back soon, I don't think we'll make it in time. That day after that, Kotori and I confirmed the work schedule. Based on the assumption that Agaha would come back on the expected day, we would just about be able to make it in time to do a test flight during the summer holiday. Never mind going to the Passage of Cloud. I'm sorry, I know what I'm saying is unreasonable, but I just can't keep quiet and tell you about it later. Yeah, I'm aware that she's faced with a difficult choice. However, even if I told her once it's already too late, Agaha would still feel hurt. That's why it's better to talk about it while there is still a possibility.
そっか。天音先輩引退しちゃうのか。
I see, so Amane is gonna quit. Agaha mumbled quietly while she tapped her fingers on her chin, deep in thought. She paced one lap around in place, then remembered her Haagen-Dazs and went back to eat it.
ああ、溶けちゃった。
Oh, it's melted. Agaha put the empty ice cream cup on top of the railing, leaned over, and looked down.
じゃあ次は葵の番。
Well, Aoi, it's your turn. Me?
葵が自分のこと話
You
す
had
の。
something you wanted to talk about? No, it's alright. No, it's alright. What was it again? I was a little puzzled by this unexpected turn of events. Agaha looked up straight at me. It was almost like she was glaring at me.
葵はどうして自転車やめちゃったの？
Aoi, why did you quit cycling? Huh? Being asked out of the blue like that meant I couldn't think of my model answer right away. That's because there's no cycle racing club here.
自転車部なくたって趣味で続けることはできるでし
Not the
ょ？
cycle racing club. You could still continue your interest in it, can't you?
なのに全然乗ってないよね、自転
But
車
you。don't ride a bicycle at all now. Agaha looks at me like she knows that I'm at a loss for an answer and sees right through me.
この前のレースで事故したのと関係があるの？
Is it anything to do with the accident you had in the last race? How do you know?
レースの結果くらいネットで調べられるよ。
I can check the results of the race on the internet, you know.
私、あんちゃんから葵のレースのこと聞いて見に行けなかったのすんごい悔しくてさ。
I heard about your race from Anshan, and I feel really bad about not being able to go.
表彰台に上がったん
You
で
were
し
up on the
ょ？
podium, weren't you?
だからずっとネットで見てたの。葵のレース結果。
That's why I was always checking the results of your races on the internet. That's what Mabo was talking about before. Agaha felt bad about it that she couldn't see you at your best. You knew about that, didn't you? At the time, I thought it was strange that Agaha hadn't asked me anything about my cycling. If she had felt bad about not being able to come and watch, she should have been able to ask me, why don't you carry on like she is now?
事故があったのも葵がリタイアしたのもそこに書いてあった。
It said that there was an accident, that you retired from the race.
で、どうしてやめちゃったの？ねえ、どうして？
So why'd you quit cycling? Why? Agaha, still looking up at me, stared over a puddle and kept coming towards me. I was injured. My knee. That's why I couldn't carry on.
やっぱりそうなんだ。
That's what I thought. It wasn't just cycling. She didn't really question whether or not that was the reason for me changing schools. She knew that I didn't want to talk about it, so she didn't ask me.
どうして言ってくれなかった
Why
の？
didn't you tell me? I thought it was kind of lame that I got injured and came running back here.
みっともなく
It
ないよ。
isn't lame. It is lame. It just sounds like I'm whining, and I don't want you guys to see that uncool side of me.
ふん、かっこいい。
Oh, I think you're cool. What? Are you making fun of me? Yes. Why you... She doesn't know how I felt about quitting cycling or why I came back here.
だってハバネさんには見せたんでしょ？みっともないところ。
But you showed Kotori, didn't you? That lame side of you? Silence. Why did you have to bring that up?
半分当てずっぽ。でもやっぱ話してたんだ。
Kind of a wild guess, but it looks like you did talk to her about it after all. Well, that's... I don't know what to say, but Agaha gives me a sideways glare. It's true that I hadn't told Agaha and the others, and when I told Kotori, I thought it was strange. Funnily enough, the conversation took place right where we are now. Perhaps I told her because she had suffered a much worse injury than me. She had lost so much and had felt so much despair. Then she couldn't stand it anymore and started to crack under the strain of it all. As I felt myself getting even just a little closer to her, I showed her the weakest side of myself. Oh dear. I'm really sorry. I gave a great big bow.
声出てないよ。元体育会系の水瀬葵くん。
I can't hear you. I thought you were a sportsman. I had my reasons. It's true. Please believe me. She said that she wanted to drop out of school, and I couldn't think of a way to persuade her to stay.
ハバネさんを思いとどまらせるために、大親友の私にも言えないようなことを打ち明けたと。
So in order to make her change her mind, you opened up and told her something that you couldn't even tell me, your best friend? Yes, that's right.
ねえ、葵。
Hey, Aoi. Yes, what is it?
ハバネさんと付き合って
Are
る
you and
の？
Kotori seeing each other? Huh?
いっつも一緒にいるし、そう見えなくもないんだけ
You're
ど。
always together, so that's how it looks.
もし付き合ってるのに秘密にされてるんだったら、なんか気まずいし、引け目感じちゃって言いづらいから、ソアリング部やめちゃおっかな。
If you're going out with her, but it's being kept a secret, that would make me feel kinda awkward, and I'd feel like a third wheel, and I might quit the soaring club. You're wrong, that's not it at all.
じゃあ
So
好
do
き
you
なの？
like her? What are you talking about?
声が裏返った。怪しい。
Your voice is breaking, that's suspicious. If I had a problem with her, I wouldn't spend so much time with her. Do you mean that girls and boys can't be friends? I try answering back in a way a child would. But I really don't see her that way. If that's what you're saying, what about me and you? Actually, there are some people who mistakenly think that Agaha and I are an item.
じゃあハバネさんとはただのお友達だ
So
と。
are you and Kotori just friends? Yeah, just friends.
今一番仲のいい。
She's your number one closest friend these days. I can't deny that.
ああ、私が葵の一等親友だったのはもう過去の話か。
So you and I being best friends is all in the past. When it comes to friends, there is no number one.
分かってないな。
You don't get it, do you?
私にとっちゃ葵の一番の親友であることはとても特別なことなの。
To me, the fact that you're my number one best friend is very special to me.
だって小さい頃からそうだったんだから。
That's how it's been since we were kids.
一番かそうじゃないかは大きいよ。
There's a big difference between being number one or not.
一番なら怪我のことも話してくれてたよ、きっと。
If I were your number one best friend, you definitely would have told me about your injury. Well, you wouldn't be all that shy about something like that.
関節キスで照れないやつが何を言うかね。もしかして女扱いされてませんか？
A guy who isn't shy about indirect kissing like you can't say anything. Could it be that you don't even think of me as a girl? Well, that's not what I wasn't shy. I was just embarrassed to show it, that's all. Is it possible that Agaha was the same?
いっそ付き合っちゃえばいいのに。そしたら私が一番の親友に返り咲き。
It would be better if you two started going out. That way I can make a big comeback as your number one best friend. Call it what you like. More importantly, let's talk about the club. I tried to force the conversation back to the topic at hand before getting hugely sidetracked.
はいよ。
Alright. We're all worried that you are just going to quit if things carry on like this.
ハバネさん怒ってたんじゃない？私が急にこんなことになって。
Kotori's angry about it, isn't she? Because I've become like this all of a sudden. Yeah, a little. But she said to Mr. Tabioka there's no way she would quit, and she spoke to him quite angrily.
嘘、本当に？それは生で聞きたかったな。
No way, really? I wish I could have seen it for myself. Amane also has also been acting weird. She's lost all her motivation since you stopped coming.
あのアマネ先輩
Even
が。
Amane? That's why, even if you can't do it now, you've got to come back.
ありがとう。
Okay, thanks. Agaha looked kind of timid and embarrassed. Interesting. Hell yeah, there's some real plot flying around, dude. I should have ended this episode like 45 minutes ago. Anyway, I know, but like, there's actual plot developing now, man. You know what I mean? Like there's actual plot developing now. Like, I didn't want to stop. And see that's the hard part, because now we're like, now I'm at 2:44 right now. I mean, technically I've been putting these parts during the week, during my work week. I've been putting them to about an hour and a half or so. because of all the reading. And then after work, I just feel tired, and I've been running on zero energy for like 6 months. So, it's like, I felt bad, but now there's plot developing, and now I'm interested, and I just want to keep playing because I want to see what happens, dude. And then it's rough because I want to hurry up and get through the Kotori route because now that Kotori has gotten like a lot of her tsundere out of the way, like she hasn't been overly tsundere this entire episode. So now that she's gotten a lot of it out of the way, now that we're closer, like she's really likable and she's super sweet and super cute. But I really like Agaha and Amane, so I want to get to everybody's romance so I can see all of them and see the bond and everything. Like that's what I really want to see. You know what I mean? And so it's like super rough because like now that we're in the part where choices are coming up and like the real plot is finally hit, and now that we're really in the thick of it, like now I just want to get to it. Like, and so it's super hard, it's super rough when you kind of gotta stop, man. It's rough. Anyway, but regardless, like this would be kind of a bonus if I was streaming. Like if I mean there would have to be a lot of things that would be very different in my life to get away with what I want. But like if I could just play for hours and hours and hours on end, because here's the thing: do I have the time to play it? I mean, yes, I have more time than I do. The problem is there's so much editing involved. Like editing is like it's just as equal as recording time as far as time goes, because you have all the editing itself, which takes a long time, and then it has to save the actual video, which takes a long time. And then you have to upload it, which takes time. You have to make the thumbnail, which takes time. Like, there's so much editing parts of it involved. Like, if it was just as simple as just the gameplay, like, it would be so much faster. Like, it would cut the time needed to do videos in half. Like, if you got rid of the editing. So it's like, but like, a lot would have to be very different in my situation to get away with streaming all the time. And I've never done anything like that before, and so it's just weird. It's just weird. Anyway, but yeah, that'll be a good place to call it. I'm super bummed because I just want to keep playing, and I just want to keep playing, and I want to keep seeing what's happening, but alas, we'll have to put it off. Sad face. Anyway, so yeah, I'm trying to give it some thought about what I want to replace. This game. I don't know how long this is, but we're really starting to get into the really good stuff, and so I am now much more. I feel involved and I feel driven. Whereas in the initial part, when it's just setting the stage, I didn't feel super driven. So, and it was fun, and I assumed it would get there, and it did, obviously, because now the real plot's flying around, and I am interested. I want to get to all the routes. I want to romance everybody. I just want everyone to be loved and happy. And in time, we will get there. So I have started to brainstorm about what's going to replace this game. I've been kicking around a few things. I am thinking that we will jump off of the visual novels. We did a slew of visual novels in a row. I don't know exactly what we're going to do yet, but I have been kicking around several ideas. But I think switching genres for at least one playthrough makes a lot of sense. So we will see, but it is very likely. Anyway, that is going to call for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.